Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello, everyone, and welcome to This is Football. Welcome to another call-in show. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been asking about it for a long ass time. So today we're gonna do a call-in show. Before we get to the call-in show, before we get to all of that, um, as you guys know, on the call-in shows, I like to just talk for like 20 minutes or so, and then I drop the link. And today I actually want it to be a lot more ordered, a lot more organized than it usually is, because I can't lie, some of our call-in shows in the past have been a mess. So we're gonna give everyone a chance to speak. 5 minutes or so each person, and then we just move on to the next person. So listen, it's not my fault I'm late. I've just been going through a lot lately. A lot of personal drama, but it is what it is, and we're here. So make sure you guys slap the like button. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you're yet to do so. And let's just get into it. Let's just speak about what needs to be spoken about. Um, let's speak about all of these things, and let's address all the things that matter. And here's the thing, like, when it comes to today's call-in show, remember that you're the guy who decides what we talk about. You're the guy that decides the topic. You're the guy that decides all of that. So it's you are the hero today, essentially. So listen, you're here to talk about it. You're here to discuss anything you want, any topic. Feel free to do so. But before we do that, it's just these things, that couple of things that I do want to talk about. um, and there's a couple of topics, which is, of course, the FA Cup final. I want to talk transfers, Liverpool transfers, a little bit. But before we do that, let me just speak on something real quick that I just kind of have to speak on. Before we speak on anything, as I said, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. Already 120 people in here. Now, let me just say this. First of all, let's just, I would like to publicly apologize for even sharing this image right here. But I just want to talk about this because, I haven't really spoken about it, earlier on today. Let me just say this. This right here is not acceptable. This right here is not something that is funny. This is not something that's banter. This is not something that anyone should go ha ha ha at. People have lost their lives. You cannot mock people who lost their lives in a tragedy. And I look at stuff like this and I just think, after everything, the football club, the fan bases, people have done to minimize stuff like that, um, people still think it's funny to do things like this. I really don't find this funny at all. Whether it's from my people, whether it's not from my people, whether it's from my club, whether it's from someone else's club, this is just wrong, 100%. Stuff like this is simply unacceptable. You wearing a not enough shirt for the 97, of course, that died in the Hillsborough tragedy. We always want justice for the 97. That's why we don't buy that newspaper that's name shall not be mentioned. And the stuff is like, you look at stuff like this, man, and you're like, how they even let him into the stadium? How you even let him into the stadium? You've got to ask, like, how? How? How was he even allowed inside of Wembley? That's what I don't get. How was he allowed to even get inside the stadium to begin with? How did they let him in? It's just beyond me. Like, maybe perhaps he was wearing a jacket or something, so they couldn't really see what's been written on the back, and then they post it on social media as well, as if it's like some sort of joke. It ain't a joke, man. Like, God, man. Anyway, he did get arrested. And listen, I hope he learns a tough lesson in life to not mock the lives of dead people. It's just not acceptable, to be honest with you. Anyway, speaking of Wembley, speaking of the FA Cup final, that sorry guys, that's just something I had to speak on, and he's just an absolute scumbag for that, to be honest with you. But anyway, we move on. FA Cup final today. We saw Man United lose, Manchester City win, and today there were people like, oh my God, Hussam, I don't know whether I should support Man City or I should support Manchester United. Like, I don't want Man City to do the treble. First of all, Man City are not our rivals. Second of all, second of all, when it comes to when it comes to when it comes to this whole situation, regarding um, like the FA Cup final, bro, I don't get how anyone, any Liverpool fan, any person who calls themselves a Liverpool fan would want Man United to lift any trophy. Let's assume, for the sake of argument, City win the treble. Inshallah, Inter do a job. So I'm going to be supporting Inter next week. It's not like I'm supporting, Man City in the Champions League final. Of course not. Even if they go on to win the treble, and what? Man City winning a treble is better than Man United winning a singular FA Cup. Man United are our biggest rivals. Man United is the club we hate above all. And Man United is the football club that we absolutely can't stand as Liverpool fans. Why should I sit up here and want Man United to ever win a trophy? I'd rather City win 6 trophies than Man United win 1. This is the club that we hate. It's just as simple as that. It's the club that we hate. It's the club that we despise. It's our biggest rival. I'm not going to sit up here and want them to be successful at all. Couldn't care less about the treble. Also, it's not like it's all over anyway. Today's game shows indications that Man City have not like fully beaten Inter. There's possibility that Inter win next week. What are you, like, the football predictor of Earth who just knows what happens in every football game? Bro, I said from the beginning, and people thought it was me doing agendas, all of that. It's not me doing agendas. I said from the beginning, Inter Milan are going to be a tougher test for Manchester City than Manchester United. And that's not an insult. That's not me being disrespectful. That's just me being honest. That's literally just me being honest, because I don't see a world. I really do not see a world that, people just look at Inter Milan like they're just nobodies. Bro, Inter Milan are not nobodies. Inter Milan are a very good club. Currently, they're a massive club, and Inter Milan have a chance against Manchester City because they're defensively solid. They've got the park the bus, gene in them if they need to do that. Inter Milan are not no idiotic, useless club. Like, Inter Milan are a very good team that are capable on their day to beat anyone in Europe. So we can't disrespect that. You even look at Inter Milan against Real Madrid. They've beaten Real Madrid before. It's not like, they're just there for vibes. Like, they've beaten Real Madrid in the Champions League. So we have to put some respect on Inter Milan's name. It ain't over yet. And even if they go on to win the treble, I would literally rather Manchester City win a treble than Man United win 1 trophy. That's our biggest rival. That's literally our biggest rival. Why on earth would I want my biggest rival? Why on earth would I want my biggest rival to win a trophy? And by the way, I believe it was someone who mentioned it earlier on today, that if Man United won the FA Cup today, they equal our trophy tally as well. I ain't trying to see that either. So it's as simple as that. So look, we hope Inter do the job. Inshallah, Inter. Next week we're with you. It's Forza Inter settings. But now let's speak on today's final. Look, man, the fact that City fans themselves will tell you this. City wasn't even at their best today, and they still made Man United look like Luton Town. Tells you all you need to about how strong they are. City are the real deal. City are it. They deserve to win today's game. They were by far the better team today. Manchester City were absolutely by far the much better team in the game, and they deserve to win, man. They deserve to win. And you have to say, the way that game started, I was just kind of just setting up my stream, like these crests and stuff. You see these crests right here. The score and everything. You see them on the screen. I was just trying to set it up. I was trying to make the crests look, the correct size, all of that. And before I've even said, "Hey guys, welcome to This Is Football," they already scored a goal. They already scored the goal directly from İlkay Gundogan, and it was an absolutely unbelievable finish. And I have to say, big up to İlkay Gundogan, because he's actually turned up. He's actually turned out خافش يا سلطان جايكم إن شاء الله. He actually turns up when it matters. We have to give him credit as well. Gundogan in this, in these last 2-3 months, he's probably been City's best, if not second best player in the whole team. So you have to give him credit. It's just as simple as that. Now, before I carry on just speaking on the game, guys, there's 231 people watching us. We ain't even on 100 likes yet. What are we doing, guys? Make sure you slap the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Yalla, come on, you guys ain't new here. This ain't your first time watching This Is Football. Make sure you slap the like button. Make sure you subscribe now. I'm still just going to discuss the game a little bit. And then I'm going to talk about Liverpool transfers a little bit with McAllister, with Turan, with names that haven't even been linked in the media. That I don't even know if I'm allowed to speak on or not. So make sure, listen, 20-minute mark, inshallah, we'll drop the link. Just make sure you slap that like button now. Make sure you subscribe to the channel this very second before we just carry on speaking. Yalla guys, 240 people, 100 likes minimum. Slap that like button, subscribe. Big up, Habibi JJ, big up everyone. So here's the thing. I'm literally just like setting up the stream still. I ain't even ready for the stream to start. And already, Man City were 1-0 up. And I got accused by Ozzy, who I see him in the comment section. Big up Ozzy. I see him in the comment section, and this guy was like, "Oh my God, Hussam, all you do is agendas," and he tried to imitate my accent, guys, for the 100th time. Every time someone tried to imitate my accent, they either do Russian accent, like I'm Makarov in Modern Warfare 2, or they do an Indian accent, or they do like some accent that ain't mine. Bro, if you want to copy my accent, at least copy it correct. Guys, I am not from Russia and I'm not from New Delhi. Like I'm not from Moscow. You get me? You have to copy it properly at least. Anyway, he accused me of being thing, but I stick by my opinion. I watched the instances back, and in my opinion, it was not a Man United penalty. Honestly speaking, it is not. It was 100% not a penalty because Grealish cannot amputate his arm as he jumps off. We all played football here. Every single one of us here has played football. Well, at least I'd hope most of you guys have. If you've played football, my people, you know when you're jumping to try win a header, you can't cut your arm off. Honestly, I'm gonna be real with you. Like, how can you? Are you just supposed to jump? Is Jack Grealish supposed to jump and just cut his arm off? So it just doesn't work, man. It just doesn't work. So it's just this whole situation with the penalty. I really do not think that it was a penalty. I stick by it. And what made this entire situation, hello Zlatan, what makes this entire situation even worse, what makes this whole situation 100 times worse, is literally like 5 minutes later, Kevin De Bruyne was tackled by Fred in the penalty box and no penalty was given. I'm not going to sit up here and speak on conspiracy theories or anything like that. But I promise you, all non-Man United fans are about to agree with me. No club in England gets that penalty besides Man United. And no club in England doesn't get that penalty for the other team other than Man United. Like, it's just always them. It's always them that do this crap every single time. People who grew up 90s kids like myself, we watched United cheat and cheat and cheat and cheat every single year. Bro, you know how many goals shouldn't have counted? You know how many times they were offside? You know how many times a player should have been sent off, they didn't get sent off? You know how many times they got away with BS in title run-ins and times like that? Ask a Newcastle fan, ask an Arsenal fan, ask a Liverpool fan, ask Chelsea fans, ask anyone who's went against Man United in a title race. Listen, I'm not going to sit up here and do agendas and do the Rafa Benitez going like, I'm talking about facts. But I watched even the Casemiro moment. Why wasn't Casemiro sent off? Why wasn't Casemiro sent off? Honestly, Casemiro should have been sent off. It's the truth. And Man City should have had a penalty. And Man United's penalty wasn't a penalty. City weren't even in second gear, and they still managed to make Man United look like an under-14s team. And Manchester is blue right now, and there ain't nothing no Man United fan can say or do about it. And let me just say this to the Man United fans. No one deserves I want to ask the Man United fans a genuine question. Why aren't you celebrating the trophy? You've been Man City fans for the last 5 years. Why aren't you celebrating the trophy? Honest question to all the Man City fans here, aka the Man United fans. For the last 5 years, all you've done is, oh my God, please, Man City, save football. Don't let Liverpool win the league. Oh my God, Man City, please, save football. Don't let Arsenal win the league. Oh my God, please, save football. Were you celebrating today when they beat your ass in that FA Cup final? Were you celebrating? Were you celebrating? Because for the last 5 years, all you've done is been City fans. You've literally been City fans for the last 5 years. You should have been celebrating that just like the City fans today. It's as simple as that. You should have been celebrating it. Anyway, listen, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Man City are still my enemy, but my bigger enemy is Man United. My biggest enemy is Man United. My biggest rival, the club I hate the most, the team I hate the most. And I will never want them to be successful. I'd rather City win a treble than Man United win a Carabao Cup. I can't stand that football club. The only piece of Man United thing I've ever bought my whole life is Man United bathroom slippers, so I can step on their crest before I take a number two in the bathroom. That's it, simple as. Bro, I've seen them rob Arsenal, I've seen them rob us, I've seen them rob clubs multiple times, and they were almost gonna rob City today. But they deserve this pain. Rashford better than Mbappe. This guy is the best center back in the league. De Gea has won the Golden Glove. Where are all the De Gea haters? Blah blah blah. Kiss my Arab, you know what? And you can hold that. And congratulations, Man City. And I will support Inter next week. Forza Inter. Anyway, I'm just going to talk transfers a little bit before I drop the link. Everyone watching right now, please do make sure you slap the likes. Make sure you subscribe. Big up to Felipe, who says that Bum Hazard finished at 29 and contemplating retiring at 32. Never comparing him to Salah again. Interesting transfers to LFC next week and beyond. Just on the Hazard thing real quick. He's actually retiring in the time where it was supposed to be his prime. Like, I'm not even going to insult the guy. I'm not going to say fat this, fat that. I'm not even going to do all of that. I'm just going to say, like, he's kind of retiring in a time where it's considered to be his prime. Like, he's supposed to bang now, he's supposed to be playing his best football, giving you his best output. I think, he could be one of the, he could be maybe like the Derrick Rose of football. Or actually, that's probably more like Neymar. But, like, kind of like, what if this happened? What if the injuries didn't happen? What if this happened? What if that happened? Maybe he just doesn't care about football like that. We don't know. But, when it comes to transfer, I'm about to get into it, Felipe. Thank you for the super chat. Big up to you. I appreciate you, Habibi. Always showing me love, man. Before I do that, 275 people watching us. Make sure you slap the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're ready to do so. Because I've had it up to here with all these fakes on YouTube, all these fakes on Twitter who are trying to pretend to know what they're talking about when it comes to transfers. So I'm about to speak the ultimate truth on Liverpool transfers. Make sure you slap the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel right now. Big up Felipe for the super chat. I'm just going to say the honest truth, yeah? Because I'm sick and tired of the BS that they feed you every single time. So now we're going to speak truth, nothing but the truth about this whole Liverpool situation. So make sure you slap the likes. Make sure you subscribe now. 300 people, minimum 200 likes. Let me just say this, yeah? This deal is complete. That deal is complete. Blah, blah, blah. Ain't nothing complete, brother. Ain't nothing complete. There are players that Liverpool Football Club are interested in that not a single person in the media has even reported about and they know nothing about. There are so many players Liverpool want that haven't even been reported in the media. Haven't even been reported in the media. People can tell you, oh, Kone is complete. Thuram is complete. This guy's... No, he ain't complete. The only deal that I can hand on heart now tell you is complete and khalas, we're going to get him is Alexis McAllister. I've told you about Alexis McAllister since March 30th. I've been telling you since then. I'm confident he's going to be a Liverpool player. Other than that, bro, tomorrow, I promise you, inshallah, this doesn't happen. I'm giving as an example. Inshallah, tomorrow we all wake up safe and healthy. You could be scrolling through Twitter. Liverpool move on from Kefren Turam. Liverpool move on from blah, blah, blah. Liverpool, like, it ain't done, bro. You guys need to understand. Nothing is done, man. People always like to come tell you, oh, this guy's done, that guy's done, blah, blah, blah, blah. Bro, we were interested in Lavia heavy a month ago. Are you going to tell me suddenly the interest just died out? Because a month ago, if you asked any of these guys, they would have told you Lavia is probably going to end up being a Liverpool player. So where is that? Like, has that sudden... Kefren Turam, okay, listen, I believe there's interest, but you need to understand, interest is simply nothing but interest. I'm interested in many things. That doesn't mean I'm going to go get them. I'm interested in a Lamborghini. I can afford one. So this whole situation with like, oh my God, we're interested in this guy, we're interested in that guy, blah, blah, blah, blah. Like, bro, okay, we are interested in them. I tell you right here, right now, we're interested in Thuram. We're interested in Kone. We're interested in Lavia. We're interested in every single one of those players. That does not necessitate that we're just gonna go get them all. Like, oh, we're gonna get this guy. Oh, we're gonna get that guy. Like everyone's just so sure. No, no, you because I'm telling you right now, tomorrow club could change his mind. Tomorrow we can change our mind as a football club. Tomorrow, George Schmatka can change his mind. Tomorrow maybe we get a different interest from a different, player. We have something else going on for us. Like all of these things people keep talking about. This is done. That's done. Just gets on my nerve because ain't nothing done, brother. McAllister's done. You can take that to the bank. McAllister is done. Khalas, he's going to be a Liverpool player. But after that, now what? All these players are kind of just made up interest, man. It's just interest. And anything can happen. You can wake up tomorrow, suddenly they don't want Kone anymore. You can wake up tomorrow, suddenly they don't want this guy anymore. They don't want that guy anymore. So we can't be so 100% sure that this guy is coming. What if George Schmatka now wants to, have his opinion, have his say, I want 1, 2, and 3, blah, blah, blah. All of these things are realistic possibilities, man. It ain't like, oh my God, it's done. We have signed Kefren Turam. We have signed. No, it ain't done, brother. Ain't nothing done. Ain't nothing done. McAllister, I'm confident, inshallah, is going to be a Liverpool player. After that, guys, I'm promising you right now, it's open season. And let me tell you why that's a major positive. It's a major positive for Liverpool Football Club. That the fact that it's open season. You know why it's a major positive? The reason why it's a major positive is, what did we learn from last summer? Liverpool went in either plan A or nothing. That's what we did. Either plan A or nothing. That's the issue. It's either Chouameni, Bellingham, or we sign nobody. Now we're actually looking at it like, okay, this guy's good, that guy's good, this guy's good, that guy's good, this guy's good, that guy's good. Everyone's good. Like, there's a possibility. It's a possibility, bro. It's a possibility. Every single one of them comes. It ain't over yet, man. Like, ain't nothing done, ain't nothing finished. Only thing I'm telling you is I'm confident McAllister is gonna be a Liverpool player, as I've told you from March. Other than that, it's open season. Yes, Turam could be a Liverpool player. Yes, Kone could be a Liverpool player. Yes, Lavia could be a Liverpool player. Yes, God forbid, Ward-Prowse could be a Liverpool player. Yes, Alcaraz could be a Liverpool player. See, that's a name that ain't even mentioned in the media. There are so many players that possibly could become Liverpool players. It ain't done yet, brother. So everyone just relax. It's literally 4th of June. We ain't even in July yet. So the good thing is, the positive thing is, it's open season. So we're able to hunt as much as we want. We're going out there into the wild. We're hunting ducks. We're hunting deer. We're hunting pigeons. We're hunting everything. So we're here just kind of wide awake to all this situation. And I like that. You look at our center back situation right now. Timber, I don't think it's going to happen anymore. And I told you guys about Timber. Even though I was quite confident about Timber, I came here on this channel and I said, guys, I don't think Timber's going to happen anymore. I think we've pivoted probably to someone like an Inacio. And in my mind, Inacio probably should have been plan A. Inacio, in my opinion, should have been plan A, ahead of Timber even. So I like the fact that, we're looking at all these options. It ain't like, and by the way, Inacio doesn't work, no problem. We'll go get Bella Ketchup. We can get anyone. Like, please understand, this summer is the most important summer in Liverpool modern history. And I've always been balanced when it comes to distributing blame. The reason why we're here, let's all cut the crap. I'm FSG out. I'm not Klopp out. But the reason why we're here is FSG, Klopp, and the players. Everyone has to hold accountability. I'm not going to sit up here and say, oh my God, FSG out. And this is all they give Klopp to work with. Because I know for a fact he could have had a 40 million, midfielder had he wanted to do last summer. I know for a fact the players let us down. All the world-class players didn't perform until it was way too late. So all of these things, they matter. You have to be honest here. Yes, I'm FSG out. I'm not Klopp out. I defend Klopp. I defend Klopp. I'm not anti-Klopp. But at the same time, we all, like from a football perspective, why did Klopp do the inverted thing too late? You can have constructive conversations, constructive criticism, speak reality. And the good thing is we have learned from previous mistakes. Now we have plenty of options. We are in the wild. But now we are in the wild as a lion. And the reason why I think FSG are forced to spend is look at their two cousins in the Premier League. Who's FSG's cousins? The Glazers and the Cronkies. The Glazers and the Cronkies are FSG's cousins. The Glazers and the Cronkies spent the most money when their clubs didn't qualify to the Champions League to try get back into the Champions League. Now, FSG's pockets are hurt. And when their pockets are hurt, by definition, they'd want to spend the money to get back to the position where their pockets can be comfortable. So I believe that they're going to spend money. And they have to spend money. It's not they're going to spend money because FSG are unbelievably amazing owners. No, it's because they have to. Because all hell's going to break loose if they don't spend money. That's just the God honest truth. Anyway, let me just read these super chats before I drop the link in the comment section for you to join. Big up to Messi FC, JJ, Ash, Victor Liang, and Felipe for the super chats. Big up to you guys. Make sure you all slap the like button. Make sure you all subscribe. And as I said today, we're developing a new format. We're not just going to add everyone on, and we're not going to have a chaotic call-in show. I want it to be a little bit more organized. We're all going to be relaxed. We're going to have conversations. You know, we add 2 at a time. Each one will have his piece, speak for 3-4 minutes, and then on to the next one so we can have as many people speak as possible. I'm going to drop the link in the comments. Big up to Messi FC, but make sure you like the video, make sure to subscribe. George, please sign Neuhaus. Please, we need that profile. You know, the reason Messi FC is saying that is because Messi FC has been watching me for a really long time. And when it comes to this Neuhaus guy, I've said from the beginning, I don't want Neuhaus. The reason I don't want Neuhaus is he's basically a like B version of Thiago, and we don't need 2 Thiagos in this club. Like, he's just, and I don't think he has the physical ability either. He's just hella slow, bro. Like, he just, like, he takes no pace, no power to the next level. Like, he's very good at passing the ball and all of that, but I don't think he has the attributes that's needed. But you are a troll and an a-hole. Big up to JJ Habibi. Thank you for the fact, Sam. AFTV bought us with 2 new players every day on the transfer daily to keep the show going, but it's a bloody joke and people follow. JJ, listen, first of all, I have no problem with AFTV. Let them do what they want to do. But I ain't going to sit up here and go like, hey, guys, Turam is done. Hey, guys, Kone is done. Hey, guys, this guy's done. Ain't nothing done, bro. I believe McAllister's going to be a Liverpool player. I've been saying that. I've been saying McAllister is going to be a Liverpool player. All the people who have followed me know that. But other than that, nothing's done, bro. Absolutely nothing is done. Why should I sit here and lie? Because knowing Liverpool Football Club, by the way, would anyone in this comment section right here, right now, be shocked? Be shocked if you wake up tomorrow and suddenly you see, inshallah, you all wake up healthy and happy. You wake up tomorrow and suddenly you see Liverpool are heavily interested in Ward-Prowse. Be real. Would that shock any of you? No, it wouldn't. So why should I sit up here and cap and tell you, oh my God, this guy's done, that guy's done? Bro, I'm not one of these cappers on this platform. I'm very real with you. I'm not one of these cappers who's going to sit up here and lie to get subscribers so I can pretend I'm an ITK. I ain't no ITK. I know what I know, and I can say what I can say, and I can't say what I can't say. I know we're interested in players who aren't even linked in the media. So I'm not even allowed to speak on them. Unbelievable, man. People love to cap on this platform, man. Big up to Victor Liang for the super chat. Big up to you, Victor, my brother. Big up, my brother. Always love for the support. Transfer has started. Still got it, the FA Cup loss. United, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, Man City will challenge Newcastle too. I think it's a step too quick. First of all, Victor, thank you for the super chat. Second of all, I think it's a step too quick for Newcastle to be challenging. I think Newcastle sustaining their place as a top 4 club is probably successful from their perspective. You know, them staying in the top 4, them remaining as a top 4 club is something that's probably they take right now. If you offer a Newcastle fan right now, you're guaranteed to finish top 4 next season, they take that. Sustainability as a top 4 club, that's it. You know, so this whole situation, people just need to just chill out, you know, on the whole Newcastle thing. But I don't see, listen, if Man United go get Mason Mount and Hoyland, then I don't see them challenging. You've got to up your game in this transfer window. Big up to you, Victor. Messi FC says, Hussam, I'm trying to my account into a tactical. If you want to become a tactical, I'll give you very quick tips. Instead of dribbling, say ball carrying. Instead of passing, say ball progression. Instead of counterattacks, say, defensive transition instead of us having a counter stack, say offensive transition. So you can become a tactical. You just have to change the words you use. What do you think of the center back link, Mickey Vandenberg? I'm gonna be sorry with you, completely honest here. I have heard absolutely nothing about him. I can't lie. Have heard absolutely nothing about him. I've heard about Timber, but we moved away from him due to his price tag, I believe it is. Inacio and then Bella Kochap are probably the two I'd look at. Are we interested in Mickey Vandenberg? I have no idea. We're interested. Let me give you, see, I'm going to give you something here that I've spoken about 4 or 5 days ago. I think we might sign a fullback from the Bundesliga. And I've told you about us signing a fullback before, anyone else. So I do expect us to possibly get a fullback, but the fullback ain't going to be like prime time, unbelievable fullback. He might be mid. He might be okay. He might be young. He might be unbelievable. He might be experienced. I don't know. Big up to you, Elia. We're getting Timber and Mount. I convinced them for Klopp a selection. First of all, you can't convince them for Klopp. You know why you can't convince them for Klopp? Because you're Klopp out. Second of all, bro, me and selection keep getting into this argument. I don't understand how on earth this guy wants Mason Mount, but don't want Kefren Turam, who's literally a 100 times better version of Mason Mount. Big up to Nidal. Thank you so much for the super chat, Nidal Habibi. He says, sorry, I need to ask this question. What's going on with Sadio coming back? I'm hearing more and more about it. What do you think? I don't think he comes back. I don't think Sadio comes back. I'm going to be sorry with you. I think that's just some BS made by the journalists because they have nothing to write about when it comes to Liverpool Football Club. They want to generate clicks. And listen, no disrespect to Mane. I don't want Mane back. I don't want Coutinho back. I don't want Emre Can back. I don't want anyone back from our past. I want us to move on. I want us to move on to new and fresher things, something, younger, someone more. That's what I want. I just want us to move into a new direction that we haven't been in. Because I ain't gonna sit up here and just keep saying, "Oh my God, let's bring Gerard back." Then I promise you, Gerard, even now at 43, is better than Henderson. So this whole like, "Oh my God, he was good then. He was good then." We need to stop looking back, start looking forward. Anyway, big up Nadal, Selection, Ilya, Victor, JJ, Messi, FC, and Felipe for the super chats. Big up to you guys. Make sure you slap the likes. Make sure you subscribe. I'm about to drop the link in the comment section. The rules are very simple. We're not gonna have like crazy 500 million people on at the same time. So we're gonna do it one or two guys at once. Second thing is, yes, that's what I'm saying. Big up to you, Nidal, man. New blood only. That's what I want too. I ain't trying to do all of this. Bring back the old people. So why are we selling Firmino then? Keep him. خلاص, do Firmino, Mane, Salah again. How about that? Big up, man. So here's the rules. Very simple. You can come on without a camera, but you just have to show me your face in the background so I can screenshot it in case you do any wildness. So yeah, that's basically it. Anyway, link is in the comment section. We're gonna do it a lot more organized this time because kind of like last time it was just wild. Yalla, feel free to join. Habibis, whenever you want. And by the way, just quickly remember, you don't even have to talk about the topics I spoke on. You can speak on any topic you want. Okay, big up to the first two that have joined us. Big up Kadema, big up Momo. I see everyone else in the background. Bear with us. Talk to me, Kadema. What are you saying? What do you want to talk about today?
Hello, Yakariyama.
Hello. Yes, I can hear you.
Yakariyama. All right, yeah. Good afternoon. Good night. Good morning to everybody. What I want to talk about is. Hold on, just 1 second, Hassan.
Okay, we'll go to Momo first then. Go on, Momo.
Yo, big up everyone. Hope everyone's having
Big
a
up.
good evening, afternoon, whatever place you're doing. Yeah, I think that McAllister, that's a good step for us. Like, first good signing, but we need to keep going with the signings. We can't just rest on our laurels. We have to at least get most of our transfer business done by the time all the lads come back from pre-season, just to make sure like everyone's integrated into the team. Really, I don't mind who we get as long as they're like class. I don't mind who we get, just as long as they're good and very good on the ball and all that kind of stuff. I think what's it? Regarding the centre back situation as well. I would personally get two centre backs, but they'll probably only get one centre back because they're gonna get a fullback if I'm not mistaken, Liverpool. So we're probably only gonna get one centre back in. But yeah, just need to get at least most of our transfer business done by the summer, by the preseason. Uh, we need no pissing around and nothing at all. Just be serious, get the transfer business done because like you never know what can happen. Like we've seen two times already last season with Future Many where Real Madrid took our target, and the same with Bellingham. I know Real Madrid took it, but we could have done so much more in that situation. We just kept playing around with that, and we can't afford to make that mistake again because it's a very important season for Liverpool going into next season. We need to make sure we're playing for the title. Like you guys, I think it was you were saying us some about having the A team play Premier League football only, and then we have the fringe players and the young players play Europa League football. And I totally agree with you because this is an opportunity to try and win the title because what Man City, no teams won 4 Premier League titles in a row, so it's important that we take advantage of that one or the other because Man City. I don't see Man City winning a fourth, so we have to make sure we're the team that take advantage of it and no one else. So yeah, if we take the Premier League seriously, we'll win it for sure. But I don't want to see any of our 18 players in the Europa League. Even if it's the later stages, I just want the B team to play all the way. That's what I want to say.
Okay, I appreciate you, Momo. Thank you so much. And listen, I agree with a lot of what you said. We have to take it serious next season in the league. One game a week as well is to our advantage. That's another thing. So I agree with you completely, and I'm happy, as you said, we're doing Plan B's, C's, and D's as well in the transfer window. Appreciate you, Momo. There's so many people in the background. Thank you for coming on, my brother.
Take care. Bye.
You're always welcome. See you in the comments, my brother. See you. Go on, Kadema. Next up is Terry and Albert. Go on, Kadema.
Right, so I just want to say good afternoon, good evening to everybody. FSG out, club in, enough is enough. You understand? Free of Palestine one time, free donate slogans. But what I want to talk about is something very serious. Out of all the clubs in the Premier, top 20, right? Liverpool Football Club has never spent more than 20 million net in any transfer window at any point in time. 20 million net. I talking like Liverpool, imagine that we had to sell to buy. That's a madness. That's a madness. American owners is the worst. They will spend more money when you end up in Europa. Oh. You understand? They will spend more money when you end up in Europa than in the Champions League, which is supposed to be the best of the best. You understand? That is craziness, boy. I don't want to, but I don't think people realize, from the fan base to the ownership to the manager, realize how close we are. I don't want to see the C word there, and then not the C word you're thinking about. The crisis I'm talking about. We closer to crisis than we think, you know. If they mess around and they don't do the right thing, it's gonna be an extremely. You see how long this season was? The never-ending season, the year of May, as I call it. It will be that on steroids if we don't get serious. And for all the people who want the manager out, he have until December.
You know, the thing is with.
Go ahead now.
Sorry, I thought you were.
Do your thing now. Do your thing.
I think with this whole FSG out stuff, look, there's a reason why I'm FSG out. I'm not Klopp out. I think, Klopp has done really well under this ownership group and everything. I look at FSG, of course, and they haven't spent anywhere near enough what is required. But as I've explained before, I think they're simply just forced to spend this summer because they didn't qualify for the Champions League. It affected their pocket. Because their pockets are affected, they're just simply in a position where they have to spend. So,
and they wouldn't get no chance to go and sit down in the fancy European boxes in Germany and brush shoulders with all them big. You understand?
Exactly, 100%. And like, listen, it's FSG out, and I think this summer, if we don't spend money, Kadema, I do sense a lot of the fan base turning on FSG.
And all them motherfuckers on them, sorry, all them men on them who said they want Mason Mount inside this club. Yuck! Okay. Look, go on Google right now. Go on DuckDuckGo, wherever search utility you want. Look up mediocre, go on images. You'll see the face of Mason Mount, dog. I wonder, what is his full name? I like to call men full name, man. But Mason Mount is the most mediocre player maybe in the Prem. I don't understand how he could be rating up these men and them only because he's from England, you know. That's the only reason, you know. If we
there's a Jamaican guy in the comment section who likes Mason Mount. You should.
But you mad, Jamie? Were you smoking there? But you send some enough for me now? You like Mason Mount?
Selection, you can hold that. You can hold that. See?
I know Mason Mount. I know Jurgen Klopp is a kind of man. He like players who run around. But you must have some kind of tech, dog. The blood, the man have no, like a headless chicken, my youth. People just had the criticisms of Darwin, but Darwin does be making some deadly runs, you know. He just can't finish. He free food. You understand? When the man making runs off the ball, you can say about if we had a midfield with energy, who could slap in a low hard cross into the box. We could be cooking with oil. And one more thing, I see it on another calling show, Coppish, big old man like Carlo Mandriff and Matt. You understand? Liverpool this season is a sleeping giant. You understand? We get knocked on the backside. But you can't stand up without a spine. We need a 8 or 6 or 10, and we need a right winger to challenge Salah. I mean, the man is God, but Father Time is undefeated. You understand?
Mm-hmm. I get you.
And that's about everything I have to say once again. Everybody inside the stream, make sure and drop a like, subscribe. It costs you nothing. It costs you nothing. Okay? Just like the stream, drop a subscription. God bless everybody. Alhamdulillah. Whatever religion, whether if it's atheist or whatever the case. Nothing. Bless all your stuff. We love all you.
Big up, Kadema. Thank you for coming on. Thank you. See you in the comments, my brother. See you. Big up to you. So next up, we've got Terry Tibbs and the man. Terry, my brother, you've got to mute the YouTube. Got to mute the YouTube because I can hear myself.
Sorry.
Hey, I can still hear myself. I don't know what it is. If you're using like maybe just try change to headphones or something like that. But anyway, next up we've got Terence Tibbs and the man, the myth, the legend himself, Albert. You know, everyone else in the background, I've already told you everyone's order. I've just added you in the order where you've come in. Big up to Momo, who says big up Hussam. Big up to you, Momo, for coming on. I appreciate you and thank you so much for the super chat, my brother. I appreciate the love. Big up to Elia, says my bad, got the name wrong. We 100% have to get the center back. Listen, that is something that 99% of the people are going to agree with you on. We definitely need a center back. We definitely need a center back because the ones that we have are injury prone, or some of them just simply not good enough. So it's as simple as that. A selection, you just got roasted by Kadema. Go watch back the last 5 minutes. He just cussed you out in patois. Big up for selection though. Big up everyone. Make sure you slap the likes. Make sure you subscribe. Go on, Terry, my brother. What are you saying?
Just want to say big up yourself. First of all, thank you for sharing what you shared. As someone who's affected by that tragedy that happened, as you know, I lost a relative at Hillsborough. I think it's abhorrent what that fan did. He should never have been allowed in. He shouldn't have been allowed 500 yards within Wembley Stadium. He should have been nabbed before he even got there. So thank you very much, brother, for that. Big up yourself. I want to talk to some of the United fans now in a different way.
But you know, the one thing I said to Terry is I don't even know how they allowed him into Wembley. That's the one thing that is still like I just kind of don't get. How did they even let him into the stadium? That's just like I don't like how. How did they even allow him to enter the stadium with that shirt on? That's what I just don't get, man.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But I just want to speak to United fans because they've all been in the comment section. There's a few been spamming saying, "Where's our trophy this season?" So you want to talk trophies? So let's break this down. We won the Community Shield this year. You won the Carabao Cup. Do you know the Community Shield earns you more money for winning it than what the Carabao Cup does with the TV deals included? So if you want to start talking like that, we earn more money from winning a Community Shield than you did your big Carabao Cup. Also on United's pages, call it a major honour. You count it as a major honour for a start, right? And again, this is our worst season in years, our worst season. We finished a couple of points behind you and we won a trophy. We won the exact same as you. And guess what? He's finished a couple of points ahead of us because we were stagnant this season. Chelsea have been terrible. We've been terrible. Remember when we won the league, United fans, and you were calling it the COVID League, and that's the only reason why we won it and all this, blah, blah, blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? The only reason why you got fourth this year is because Liverpool, Chelsea and Tottenham were absolutely awful. We didn't get going until the latter stages of the season. And before then, it was too late. He's absolutely stumbled over the line, and Man City today absolutely made us look terrible. Bruno Fernandes, where was he today? Where was he? He was nowhere. Where was Casemiro? Apparently the best centre defensive midfielder in the Premier League. I'll tell you where he was, getting absolutely ballered by Rodri, because Rodri was just pinging passes left, right and centre and absolutely humiliating Casemiro. That challenge as well, he shouldn't have even been on the pitch. He's dirty. He's got that dirtiness from Spain and he's brought it with him to England because there's a lot of players in Spain who kick out and do things that they shouldn't do in a football match, and you can tell. And that's nothing against Spain or Spanish people whatsoever, because that's not how they behave. It's just the league in general. It's just how they are. It's built into them, and they bring it over here. And he's a dirty player, and he shouldn't have been on the pitch. And again, another thing I want to say to United fans as well, Manchester is blue, and it's going to be blue for the next 20, 30 years. Next 20, 30 years. Whiskey Nose was sitting in the stand today, staring at the pitch, not knowing what he was looking at. His beloved Man United was getting absolutely bladdered everywhere. And I'm so happy about it because I agree with Hussam. I hate Man City, but I hate Man United even more with a passion, because I've had to sit here through the 90s watching Fergie time over and over and over again.
Listen, people who grew up like myself and you, people who watch these eras, people who watch these things, like they understand why the hatred for Man United is just so strong. You know, other people maybe just simply don't get it. They just maybe they just don't understand. Maybe they just, you know, it's just it just doesn't, you know, click with them. But when people who grew up like myself and yourself and we watch this stuff, bro, I've seen them get away with theft, with the robbery when it comes to, you know, refereeing decisions, all of that, and it's just an absolute disgrace, to be honest with you. So for me, I said this on the stream and I stick by it. I would rather Man City win a treble than Man United win a Carabao Cup. I'd never cheer on United in any trophy scenario whatsoever. It's just as simple as that. I'm gonna be sorry with you.
Yeah. Neither do I. But Tom, before I go dead quick and let someone else come in, again, thank you, brother. Like and subscribe, everyone. Share. Doesn't cost you nothing to hit that like and subscribe. But let me just predict this for you now, United fans. You're going to be in the Europa League on Thursday night soon because you're not getting past the group stages. See you in the Europa League. And when we absolutely bladder you again 7-0, I'm going to laugh.
I love this call and show from Terry, man. Big up Terry, man, my brother. I'm seeing you in the comments, my brother. Love for coming on as per usual. Big up, man. Big up Terry. Oh God, what a call and show. That was elite, Terry, man. That was elite. We need more of that. Big up Terry, man. Funnily enough, speaking of United, we actually got a young United fan coming on now, Miguel. But before that, we go to man like Albert. Talk to me, brother. What are you saying? Albert, you're on mute.
Sorry, I always try to put myself on mute just to listen to other people. How are you doing? How are you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm good. Alhamdulillah. Can't complain. Life is
Yeah,
good. Happy to be here
I'm,
as
I'm,
per usual.
yeah, I'm good too. You know, the guy who put on that shirt, right? Um, I've told you the story of how I came within 10 minutes of that thing, because I was a poor student, in University of Swansea at the time. But I don't think, first of all, I don't think people caught on to the shirt like immediately. So I don't blame those who let him in, but it's good he was caught and taken up. But some of these people don't understand the meaning of what actually happened. And to the extent that one person who died was not actually identified until last year. Remember, we always used to say 96 people, 96 people, and now we've upped it up to 97. One person who died was not found for 37 years. So I think people should put those things in context. And all these nonsensical, Liverpool have lost a lot of people. We don't even talk about Heysel. Heysel was another disastrous. I mean, that's why we're banned for 6 years. From at the height of our powers, the peak of our powers as a football club, when we had the best players in Europe by far, we were not allowed to play for 6 years. If we had played those 6 years, we would have won the European Cup maybe about 4 more times. Who knows? So people should put it in context, and young people of today should not try to make people's pain. Because there are many people who lost parents, they lost brothers, they lost sisters, and they have to live with it until today. I mean, imagine for some of us who had left our countries and had gone out to go and study, and you don't tell anybody, because at the time it was even almost impossible to get back to my country with a phone call. It was unbelievable. I mean, if I tell you that you had to go to the post office to book a call to speak to your parents back in the day, you won't believe me, because today you can just take a phone and call anybody all over the world. So let's tamp down on this nonsense. It involves human lives, and it's a bunch of nonsense. It has nothing to do with what is happening today. But I also want to ask Manchester United supporters and their ITKs and their big wigs and those who talk a lot of rubbish a question. Are you really going to pay Chelsea money to buy Ugarte and have some change home to get a big bag on the way? Are you fuckers really going to do that?
They've actually funded the Ugarte transfer. That's crazy.
You want to spend 60 million pounds on Mason fucking Mount, aka Mason Henderson Mount, Mason Henderson Ward Price, Yuri Tillemans Mount. And after you pay that money, they go and get Manuel Ugarte for 52 million pounds, and they have 8 million pounds to get a Big Mac on the way home. Are you people go and fucking buy Ugarte? I don't want to be the ones to give you that advice. Go and buy Ugarte, you fucking dumbheads. For crying out loud.
I can't believe that transfer is a thing, honestly.
What is this? I want to meet Mason Mount and ask him, what is it about you? What is it? And they want to pay him 300,000.
Albert, you know what's the most confusing thing? All the guys, just all these top managers, they want the guy, bro. Like, that's what's confusing.
I want to ask him, what is it about you? What is it? Do you have something that I need to know about? Because I mean, Klopp is all gaga over Mason Mount. I mean, I read a piece today. He's been talking to him, and they've been talking to his managers, and I'm like, fuck me. Of all the players that you can buy for 60 million, you people didn't want to buy Ugarte for 60 million because Sporting said pay the release clause because we are not the only people who own the player. You refuse to buy him. You are now faffing around about Thuram. You are faffing around about Manu Kone. And you are thinking about going to buy that guy. Really?
And you know, Albert, actually, look, this is what I want to ask you about, because I want to ask you about these Liverpool transfers. Because listen, we've heard, like, we know your opinion on what happened this season. Me and you, we agree on a lot. You know, this season is
Yeah.
just absolutely horrible. Like, it's just not accepted by any standard. So just talk to me from a Liverpool perspective. How are you looking at things going forward with McAllister, with
I
Turan,
have one
Kone,
thing
players
for
were
I
listed?
have one thing with Liverpool. Do it quickly.
Mm,
Because any transfer that Liverpool don't finish before the international window that we've given publicity to, when we come back, we won't get it. Alexis McAllister, for me, and I say this openly, he was the best midfielder in the Argentine team. Remember, they started with Paredes and others, and quickly discarded them and brought him and Enzo in, and that's why they won it. That guy will go to Manchester City if the price is right, and we should know that. He's not bound to come to Liverpool because he loves Klopp or because he loves Liverpool. No, today almost all the players are mercenaries. Give him the right amount of money, give the right amount of money to his club, and he's coming. And Manchester City is not a bad club for anybody to wish to go to, because they have a very good manager. We can like them or lump them all we want. Pep Guardiola is a fantastic manager. And for those people who get up and say, oh, they spend all the money, then they spend money. Last year, your wage bill in Liverpool was bigger than theirs. Because you know what? You were spending money on Henderson. Hoof Henderson. You were spending money on him. You were spending money on Milner. You were spending money on fucking Keita, 37-year-old Keita. You were paying him £120,000 a week. You were spending money on the kid from Arsenal. What's his name? Oxlade-Chamberlain. You were paying him £165,000 a week. You are spending money on Thiago, who has only paid 65% of the games since he came to Liverpool. You are paying him $220,000 a week. So and you know the best part, we even pay Adrian £60,000 a week. We pay Adrian £250,000 a month. So every year, Adrian goes home with £3.5 million of your money. So let's stop talking about other people when they are paying this and they are paying. You paid more money to your players than Man City did. Notice, Man City bought Julian Alvarez for £15 million. They spent zero on Foden, zero on Rico Lewis, zero on Cole Palmer. One of their best players, and today we saw him in full flow, Gundogan. They bought him for £21 million. And that was when he was the first player that Pep signed. So let's look at our own selves, within our own selves, and ask ourselves what is going wrong with Liverpool. And we won't get away with it next year. So we better finish all the transfers that we want to do before the international window, or at least go substantially towards finishing it. Because we won't get Kevin Turam after the international window. We won't go after him. That kid has never had an injury. He's available for 40 million euros, or is it 40 million pounds? Get him. Don't ask any questions. Get him. Ask questions later. Right? Manukoni. Look, we get those three boys, and every team we meet has a problem. Because one of the biggest problems that we've had this year is no goals coming from the midfield. None. Zero. Apart from Elliot, who scored 2 goals from midfield, supposedly, whether he's a midfielder or a right fullback or whatever the hell he is, I don't know. Right? We didn't score any goals from the midfield. None. Zero. So when you don't get anything from Salah, then we complain Salah is not playing well. Salah scored 20 goals. He scored, was it 30 goals? If we had gotten just 10 or 15 goals from anybody else in the midfield, we won't be where we are. because a single goal can win a match or change.
Today, Gundogan scored twice. It wasn't even Haaland. Gundogan scored twice.
Exactly. Haaland didn't play anything because his supplier in chief was at 0 today. Because De Bruyne didn't play anything, Haaland didn't play. But the thing is, we had nothing coming from the midfield. Our midfield couldn't defend. Our midfield couldn't attack. So we were like that person that has do these things in the front and then in the back, right? Couldn't do anything. We didn't have, we had nothing in the midfield. So Klopp should not be thinking that Fabinho is going to be a long-term answer to his problems, because he won't. Fabinho is done. Fabinho is not 29 years old. He is done. Right?
Look, I don't think Fabinho is done, but I do agree with you. I don't think he's a long-term
No,
solution.
listen, Fabinho will give you 1 or 2 days of his brightest and best. He's not going to give you consistency. Did you see what he did against Southampton?
No, but here's the thing, Albert. Look, he's not going to be playing. This is the thing. He's not going to be playing in Europe next season. Let's be real. He's not going to play Fabinho against Toulouse, you know? Like, let's be real here. So, he's probably only going to make an appearance in the Europa League, like in April time? So he plays 1 game a week. He has energetic midfielders around him. And if Trent is inverted, then we're playing a 4 in midfield, which would even help him out even more. So I don't think Fabinho is done yet. But I agree with you, he is not a long-term solution, which is why we should get a DM now, let him develop. So when Fabinho is actually fully finished, we have the DM ready to take over his place directly.
I even want to go more radical. If we get somebody who wants to buy him, we should let him go. So that whoever is coming in, whether it's Bacetic, whether it's Lavia, or whoever it is, knows that there's responsibility thrust upon me and I have to cook, whether it's Thuram or whoever. Because having him hanging around there is just going to be like a senior player hanging around there, and then he's sitting there, and Mr. Klopp, the hugs man, has to give him a few hugs here and there and put him in a game when he shouldn't be in the team. He's done. Okay, I just think he's done. Hussam, I have suffered so much this season. I don't want to give no more hugs and kisses. I all those who have contributed to my pain, they gotta go. They got to go. And if you're staying in the team, sit on the fucking bench.
Listen, I love Albert is ruling with an iron fist now. He's just like, I've had enough of this crap.
You know, I am Kim Jong Albert. You can call me that. Right now, I am the emperor of the North Korean Republic of Liverpool. Kim Jong, no more hugs, no more kisses, no more pats on the buttock, nothing. Get out there and go and play. If you can't play, sit your ass down. Because we are paid enough. You are paid enough for the privilege. That's it.
Okay. Big up, Albert, man. Big up. Thank you for joining. You're welcome to join us as well later, when we just have
anytime. I'm here. I'm watching the full program, so I'm here.
I appreciate you, Albert, as always. You've always shown me love, my brother. I appreciate you. See you in the comments, my guy. Speaking of Man United, who have been obliterated in this comment section right here, right now. Go on, Miguel. What are you saying?
Hello, mate. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go on.
All right, big up my brother. Love and support. Always likes and subscribe to this guy, because this guy, look, even though he's a Liverpool fan, I'm a Man United fan, I can't lie. There's been many moments where I've been very depressed in my own life, and you've helped me out through those dark times, so I really appreciate it. So
thank you. I'm humbled. I'm always here for you, brother. Always here for you.
Thank you, bro. And onto my team, bro. I mean, today it was men against boys today for me. Men against boys, simple as. We didn't turn up. Legit, I was legit setting up. My friend was coming over and all this good stuff. I go to open the door for him. I go inside the room and we're 1-0 down instantly. I don't know what happened, right? And then we get the goal. I mean, it's a penalty. I mean, nothing too special there. But and then we go in second half to say, all right, maybe we can do something here. Nope, we couldn't. And we go 2-1 down and we lost. So it is what it is, isn't it? So now
I think today the part for you probably which which just kind of didn't help you out is the players you expected to turn up didn't turn up for you. So the likes of Bruno, Rashford, these guys, they didn't turn up.
because for me, I thought the defense and midfield was all right for most part, but the problem for us today, and for what that pretty much screwed us over most of the season, was the attack. In my opinion, the attack cannot finish chances properly whatsoever. So just a bit of nightmare thing, but for our recent form, I mean, the season's done. Forza Inter next week. I bloody hope flipping Inter Milan flipping do something against them. The old Man United boys are there, so I mean, hopefully Lukaku can finish his dinner for once and stop Man City. But in the summer, we have to get the players that Ten Hag wants, or else we're fucked. But even with that, we don't even know who our owners are going to be. It could bloody be flipping Elon Musk if we're all we know, because we don't even know who the hell we're going to get.
Hopefully, it's
So-
Jim Ratcliffe. Hopefully,
I mean, that's what you want.
of course.
I mean,
Comment section.
oh.
They're asking Uncle Albert for co-host. If I get 15 comments, Uncle Albert for co-host, we'll co-host them right now. We'll make him the co-host of the call-in show. Comment section, right here, right now. This is your opportunity to shine. Remember, this is the call-in show. It's about you guys. So you make the decision. Exact same comment like this by 15 different guys. We make Uncle Albert the co-host of the call-in show. Carry on, Miguel.
Yeah, no problem, mate. But for transfers that Man United needs to make next season, we need 2 strikers. I cannot have another season with Anthony Martial in the bloody hospital bed for almost the whole entire season again. I cannot have that. So for me, we need 2 strikers. For me, a midfielder, 100%. Probably a new defender, and probably a goalkeeper as well. That's, in my opinion, what we need. And the thing about Mason Mount, because now he's entering my bloody domain now, which I'm not liking. In my opinion, in my opinion, I think he's overrated. In my opinion, I would rather take James Maddison than Mason Mount. James Maddison is a way much more better player. Bro, he can't even get in the crappiest Chelsea team I have ever seen in my life, and we won Mason Mount and they want 80 million. And this is how you know Chelsea are a badly run club now. 80 million for a player who can't even get into the damn Chelsea team. But the thing is, right, if we're going to get a midfield, we need a defensive midfielder next to Casemiro. We can't just have Casemiro in the away games next season. Like, imagine if we go to Anfield with Mason Mount, we're going to get bloody dominated, even worse probably, because he is not defensively minded whatsoever. But, and to be fair, Albert made a very good point in the last thing. If we were in for Ugarte, why don't we just get Dan Ugarte then? He's a way much more better player, in my
Comment
opinion.
section,
than,
you win. You
Mason
win.
Mount. So
Albert's the co-host. No way Captain Sal just super chatted it as well. Man just said Albert for co-host with a super chat. Big up Captain Sal. Hey Albert, on this channel you have the streets, man. You have the streets, man.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. But I haven't learned the art, so I'm just watching you. Go ahead, do your thing.
Yeah.
What are you saying?
Big up,
Mike,
Albert.
you know, Mike, just on the whole Mount thing. Sir, I'll back you up completely. You look at today's just the same exact 11 today.
Yeah.
You add Mason Mount to that. You know, some people may say next to Bruno or whatever. If you add Mason Mount to that and you're just looking at a Casemiro Mount Bruno midfield, that's a horrible midfield. That's an absolutely horrible midfield, and it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing on that show. You know, it's just, I don't know if you watched it, the one on Friday with the 2 Chelsea fans, the 2 United fans, but man, like, we kind of kept brainstorming a reason as to why this has happened, but no one could find the reason. It just makes no sense. So this summer transfer window will make or break Man United. It's as simple as that.
100%. Because let's be honest, Liverpool will probably be back next year. Chelsea, I don't know what the hell's going to happen with Chelsea. Spurs are just Spurs. Arsenal will probably be better. Newcastle's going to get better. So, and Man City are just going to do their thing, because obviously they're just winning title after title. And yeah, I mean, like, first we just have to sort out the whole owner situation, and we just have to get the players that Ten Hag wants. But please, for the love of God, if we get Mason Mount, I will bloody cry. Honestly.
But Miguel, you know something? We
Yeah.
are supporters, and we are guilty of it too. So I'm not accusing you of anything. We supporters always end up overemphasizing on what our quote unquote our manager wants.
Yeah.
And we behave as if we ourselves have not been watching the game enough to know what we want. Your man signed Anthony for 100 million euro. Right?
Yeah.
That is one of the dumbest decisions of the year. Anthony, the circus clown, he signed him for 100 million. Anthony, in my opinion, is not even worth 40 million euros, if at all. Then there's this matter of going to San Mason Mount today, the game you played.
Yeah.
Imagine having an Ugarte in the middle of the park. What Ugarte does is he stops Gundogan cold.
Yeah.
Because even Fred, good old Fred, did a very good job on Kevin De Bruyne. I hear De Bruyne is injured in a way, but Fred did a good job on him. So the modern game, as we see it, is more or less predicated on having a solid midfield and some defensive midfield players.
Yeah.
Now, and you see the law of averages, and Hussam is a scientist, an engineer like me, so he can tell you that the law of averages states that Chelsea will get it right at some time. But they are spending. The law of averages tells you if they don't get it right next season, because they are buying Ugarte. What they are hoping to do, and they have a good coach now, what they are hoping to do is to spring Enzo and have Ugarte basically playing in a holding role. That's really smart. Okay? Arsenal are aiming to buy both Declan Rice and Caicedo. If they manage to do that, everybody should sit up. Because that means even Thomas Partey doesn't get a look in. Jorginho doesn't get a look in. So they have them in reserve. Can you imagine? So that's like 1, 2, and 3 taken, okay? Then the rest of us are going to have to fight. As for Spurs, you know they'll do Spurs. You know Spurs will always do Spurs. They will
Spurs it up. Yep.
They will snap it from the jaws of victory. Spurs will just do Spurs. Put them in the Champions League final. Give them a handicap or a mulligan of 3 goals in the first half. They'll come and lose. So don't worry about them. But there are other teams coming. There's Brighton. Brighton have find a way of replacing their players that they lose and no flies on them. There's Aston Villa coming. Now Newcastle also have Saudi owners. Sheffield United has one of the Al Saud sheikhs from the house of Al Saud. You think he's not going to spend? That guy is one of the richest men in the world. You think he's not going to spend? So the traditional teams, the Manchester Uniteds and the Liverpools of this world, who have been sitting on top of the EPL for the rest of time, they better start thinking that we have a what do you call it, an existential problem. Nobody is sitting down and saying at the end of the year, you get 250 million pounds and walk away, and we won't do anything about it. We'll just sit down and watch you collect it. That ain't happening. So all of us have to think.
Listen, 100%, and that's why I just
100%.
gave Miguel the example of you look today at that team, you add Mason Mount to that. I'm not sure that makes you any better, to be honest with you. As a matter of fact, I'd probably argue makes you worse. Yeah, exactly.
Makes us worse.
You just can't keep possession.
He may have committed a penalty on the other side.
Well, 100%. And you know, one thing I want to add just before we go to Mike. Thing is, one point that Albert made that is 100% right is we have become so infatuated with our managers as football fans that we can't criticize them anymore. We sit up here, we're unable to criticize a manager. Bro, Ten Hag wanting Mount, okay, you can come here and you can say it's the wrong decision. Ten Hag signing Anthony, no problem. I can tell you 500 Klopp mistakes right now. A City fan can name you the same amount of Pep Guardiola mistakes, and that's Pep. So you can't sit here and just be blind to the manager. That's why I'm not, when I was speaking to the United fans, I'm not expecting you to come tell me Ten Hag out. Of course not. But at the same time, you can recognize Mason Mount does not work. He does not work. Funnily enough, the only place it would probably work is if you play him in the 10, but you don't use a 10, and then that would mean that Bruno has to be on the bench, which no one wants anyway. So that's
Oh.
that's the thing. But I
Yeah.
appreciate you, Miguel. Thank you so much, my brother. Big up to you.
Big up.
Big up.
Big up,
Big up,
everyone.
big up, my brother. Mike, just before we go to Mike, Messi FC says, Hussam, who do you like more, Kone or Turam? Listen, I love both personally. I'm gonna be so honest. I prefer Quadio Kone though. Kone is my guy. Like I've been shouting about Kone for a long ass time now. And Joe says every year is the same. Everyone is mentioned, but nothing is done like Fakir at the last minute. I don't trust FSG and them spending 160 million. No way. FSG have never spent 160 million. Very skeptical. One of the biggest ones they had is it's not full at the moment, guys. It's not full. There's space. By the way, Minerals, Yuvraj, Zlatan, and I think Christopher is next. So get ready, guys. Here's the thing. I hear where you're coming from, Joe, and that's why I'm FSG out. But the last time I remember them spending like big is actually one of their first transfer windows, the one where we signed like Adam, Downing, Henderson, that one. So like we signed like a whole lot of players, that's the thing. So that's for me is the problem. We kind of signed too many players at the time. I look at this current transfer window and we have to get it right. We simply have to get it right. We can't afford any more mistakes because we have screwed ourselves beyond repair this season. 5th place. You look at Europa League, you look at all of that. The one positive to come out of it is, and this is where me and a lot of Liverpool fans disagree, if we don't take Europa seriously until April, when we're actually in the knockout rounds, we could be like ahead of the people to a point where they can't catch us in the Premier League. But I appreciate you so much, Joe. And listen, time will tell. I think they're going to be forced to spend just due to their lack of investment. So, yeah, big up to you. Mike, my brother, the most handsome man, no homo, to refuse to come on camera, but there's no pressure.
No. I got you. I'll turn on my camera.
Big up, Mike. Talk to me. What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, I mean, so first and foremost, I'm not going to talk about other clubs because I'm a Liverpool fan and that's all I care about. And I don't want to waste my breath or my energy talking about a club I don't care about. So United can piss off. But essentially, I mean, first and foremost, I think that at the end of the day, I'm not worried about this transfer window. They're going to spend, like you said, they got to get back in the Champions League. They got to make money again. The profits need to be at the same margins that they were before. I'm more worried about next season. Like regardless of whether or not we make top 4 or however successful we may be, I'm worried about double window. Are they just going to go back to not spending anything next year and not learn from their prior mistakes? That's really what fears me more than not getting players in the current window that we're at right now. I think that we're at least going to get 3 midfielders. I think that we'll definitely get at least 1 center back, but ultimately, as we saw towards the end of the season, the problem this year, which I think a lot of people got wrong, it wasn't personnel as much as system. I mean, we went on a run at the end of the season. It's not like anything changed. It's not like we brought in anybody else. Yeah, Cody Gakpo, sure, but I wouldn't say that he had some sort of night and day effect on this team. It was the system, and it took Jurgen Klopp until April to make a change. And if we go into next season and we get all the players that we think we need and we revert back to this pressing 4-3-3, I think that we're just going to, turn back the clock, and it's just going to be Einstein's theory of insanity, just repeating the same thing over and over again rather than evolving in what we should become, and we should be moving forward. I don't think that the personnel issue was the major thing, at least in my mind. It was way more about the system that we were playing, and we saw that when we inverted Trent. And next season, I'm hoping that Trent will just live in the midfield, play a back 3. I don't care what you have to do, but Trent should be in midfield the whole game. And as long as we're able to change the system and bring in a few new players,
when you say midfield, you mean inverted, right?
Yeah. Just I want Trent spending the majority of his time in the center of the park. If he's got to come back and he's got to play as a right back from time to time, whatever. I want him to be at the forefront of the offense because Trent has legs and he's way better in defense through transition when he's up the field. I don't know if anyone noticed that, but when he was playing
Mike,
inverted,
I'll give you credit for one thing, and this is where you have to be honest with when people get things right. Mike was one of the first people to actually come on this channel. I think it was a halftime show, I believe it was, or a call-in show, one of them. And he said the problem, guys, is not just personnel; it's also systematic. And you look at the way we actually switched the way we play football, and he was right. All low key, you know. Here's the thing, right? Let's cut the crap here. We all watched Liverpool this season. The last 8-9 games, bro. All we did was invert Trent. We didn't do no genius crazy move. We just inverted Trent. And suddenly, just because of that, we looked 100 times better. So the one thing where Mike was consistent on the whole club thing, and I agree with him completely, is, bro, like you absolutely cannot, absolve Jurgen Klopp of any responsibility, because he should have done that a lot quicker than he did. So that's the thing. So Mike, let me ask you a question, since we agree on the system thing. Speaking of personnel, what do you make of the players we're linked with so far?
I like them all. I think Thuram and Kone have legs, and that's what we need in midfield. I think McAllister, I mean, dude, I had no idea who this guy was before the World Cup, and I watched every game of the World Cup, and every single Argentina game, my eyes were always on McAllister. He literally ran that team. Obviously, Messi is Messi, but McAllister played unbelievably. And regardless of Brighton and how their season went, I mean, they ended up 6th, which is fantastic. And maybe he didn't output the stats that a Kevin De Bruyne or another attacking midfielder that you would really be interested in, or at least a superstar per se. But I think that he's got tons of potential, and he's 24 years old, and he's in a World Cup winning Argentine side where he pretty much donned the midfield for the whole tournament. So I think it'll revamp the midfield.
And he never looked out of place either.
Exactly.
Never looked out of place.
Thank you, Mike. You are one of the very few people who even wants to acknowledge how good he is.
Yeah,
I said it, and I'll say it again. He's a better buy than Jude Bellingham. I don't care what anybody says. I'm saying it. Okay?
Well, I don't think Jude's leaving. Personally, I think Jude's staying.
And I'll tell you why he's a better buy than Jude Bellingham. Argentina started the first match against Saudi Arabia with Paredes in that position. And they took him out and brought Alexis McAllister in, and they never took him out again. And you made a comment that I want to borrow. He ran that midfield.
Yeah.
Alexis, as a Jamaican would say, he ran things.
Yep.
He runs things. Right?
Yeah.
He doesn't have poster boy looks. He doesn't get in a car crash and get out and give his car away every weekend. So nobody gives him the credit for what he does. He doesn't go around hitting, exposing himself in big clubs or hitting women up the bum so he doesn't get in trouble. Right?
Yeah.
But everybody underestimates how good he is.
He's
Remember, the kid was brought into a Brighton team that had come from the Championship 3.5 years ago. And this is where he's brought them. I think Brighton have a propensity to be able to fill in the blanks when they lose players. But I think when they lose Caicedo and Alexis, they are gonna have a hard time replacing them.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you say it, because it means I'm not the only person and who has been saying it consistently and getting abused for saying that I think he's better than Bellingham. But I'm glad somebody else is going to share the abuse.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people in the Liverpool community are living in the past, and they're dwelling on the past, and they're not just accepting what has happened. Like, you have to just accept it. Like, the last season happened. The decisions that we made happened. We didn't get Jude Bellingham. FSG suck. Accept it. Move forward. Like, attack the situation in a calm manner. Right. And Alexis McAllister is, leaps and bounds ahead of every single person that's in our midfield, except for Trent, who should be in midfield. But whatever. Outside of that, he infinitely makes us better. I think Kone and Thuram would be unbelievable. Just add legs to the back. I think that Fabinho is a great depth player next season. I think that having just the Europa League. I mean, like, we don't really have to. It's not the same as the Champions League. We don't have to give it the same attention per se. So Fabinho is a great depth player to keep on. Thiago also another great depth player to keep on. And this means that, without them starting, we get to save their legs, right? We get to just extend them out a little bit more. Which means that
add Elliott to it.
Yeah, 100%.
As soon as the coach decided to bench Elliott, we started doing better.
Yes. Well, I mean, Curtis Jones, I have to give him credit. He finished out the season very strong. The last 2 games a little weak, but he had a good 7-game stretch. And obviously, it'll be nice to have Bajcetic back. But you get 3 midfielders in there who are, I mean, those 3 are, that could be a starting 3. Everyone else is now depth, which means that we can save legs and rotate more, which is why I think we need a center back and a right back. But, you know, with all of those pieces, I want to reiterate, like, we had these same problems 2 years ago when we went for the quad, right? We struggled against terrible teams. We struggled against poor teams because we had to hold possession, and we're not good in possession, and we're not good at creating. And where does that stem from? The midfield. And, you know, Trent can only do so much from 60 yards away. He can only play so many world class. I've never seen that type of pass ball before. So as long as the system evolves and we move into next season with this new inverted Trent role and we're not reverting back, I don't think we'll make the same mistakes. And just like, even just a little added, like, dude, Man United are talking shit. We had our worst season fucking ever, and we were only 4 points below you. Okay, like let's just be real. And you guys are sitting there and you're chatting, and you just lost to Manchester City. It doesn't make.
But for John Brooks, we would have caught up with them.
Yeah,
because
yes.
I had the privilege, or let's say unprivilege, of being in the stadium that day and watching John Brooks in operation. And there was no difference between John Brooks and a referee refereeing a TP Mazembe match in Lubumbashi, DR Congo, where you either let TP Mazembe win or you don't get out alive. That's what he did.
We even saw that today in the FA Cup final, man. It's just, listen, English referees are just horrible all around.
And then, excuse me to say this, nobody should take me out of context. When you go and meet Roma fans who have the worst ultras in European
chill out, Albert, chill out.
And you didn't do your homework, then you come out and come and complain.
Chill out, Albert, chill out.
Which
chill out, Albert.
Referees a
Albert,
match?
This new generation is very sensitive. Chill out.
That's why I said, listen, I don't make the rules. I just play the game and I watch the game. Okay?
I hear.
The refereeing decisions that the guy took, and I wouldn't even mention him by name, that the guy took were horrendous.
Yeah.
Look at what the other one did today. Look at what he did today.
Yeah.
Listen, I think English referees in general just
concentrate on my team.
Yes.
What John Brooks did to us was atrocious. Right? How does he explain that Ezra Konsa's foot was not intentional?
Yeah.
Unless you are spastic, how do you stretch out your foot and it's not intentional? How's that possible?
I mean, listen.
Do you look at the shirt? How do you look at the chest of Gakpo and say that was not a red card offense? Because you know what happened when Gakpo was lying on the floor, the medics opened his shirt and showed it to the referee. The medics summoned the referee to come and see his chest. He had Adidas marks on his chest, and they had to change his jersey on the pitch. How do you not see that? How did you not consult? How did you not consult VAR on that issue, but you consulted VAR on the goal we scored?
Yeah.
How does that make sense?
I mean, my only argument against it would be I actually think that we would have been worse if we were facing 10 men because we are infamous for being terrible. I mean, Newcastle almost tied that game. We were up 2-0. We didn't create anything in the second half, and we almost conceded twice.
On the pitch.
No, 100%. But
I'll take my chances without the Karate King on the pitch.
But I would say that the one that's more valid was was getting rid of the goal when it was a clear intention to play that ball.
He did. You know, but I was real time in the stadium. Hussam, you remember when I told you guys that the referee had disallowed the goal? You didn't believe what I was saying was true, but the referee had disallowed the goal. I mean, I've seen some shocking things, but that's up there. Yeah. I sent a message to the chat that the referee has disallowed the goal, and everybody was like, "What? What are you talking about? He had disallowed it." I see. Refereeing in the EPL has to do better. It's not just us.
Yeah.
Without refereeing decisions, Brighton would have been in the top 4.
Yes.
It's not enough. It is just not enough to go and do such an atrocious thing and then come back and say we are sorry. Because your sorry costs money.
Yeah.
The difference between somebody being 4th and somebody being 5th or 6th can be about 60 million euros. That's money. So they need to do better and not just tell us that, oh, you are sorry, and you have what's his face, Howard Webb sitting there. That's what he went to do in Egypt. Look, in certain places, you don't get away with certain things. Anybody, and Osam, you're an Arab, you know about Egyptian football. There is no rivalry in this world that is bigger than Al
Al-Ahli al-Zamalek.
Zamalek. So if you are appointed as an English referee and paid big bucks and you come there and you fuck up, they chase you. So he had to leave Egypt in the middle of the night. I didn't make that rule. That's what happened to Howard Webb. You can check. They need to do better before our supporters and our fans go crazy. Because that day, after the match, the Liverpool supporters were irate, upset. Of course, I had my own issues, so I had to leave the stadium 10 minutes before time for holding a Sun newspaper on the train. But the Liverpool supporters were irate. Yeah. But if they don't stop it, one fine day it will get there. It will get there. A referee can't behave like he behaved today, giving what do you call it? Manchester United that penalty and not giving Manchester United their penalty. Because if you ask me, what Fred did was more of a penalty than what Grealish did.
Grealish was not a penalty. But anyway, I gotta run. All I want to say is system needs to change. With the system change and the right players, we are title contenders and Europa League champions. There is no doubt in my mind. And anyway, big up, like,
Big
subscribe,
up, Mike,
subscribe.
man.
Good to see you,
Big
boys.
Big up. Appreciate you, Mike. We're actually going to add 4 guys in next so we can give more people a chance to come on. So we've got Zlatan, Yuvraj, Minerals, and Christopher coming on. Before we do that, everyone watching right now, please don't forget to slap the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're ready to do so. Big up to Joe, Sal, Ammar, Momo. Big up to you, Nidal, Selection, Ilya, Victor, JJ, Messi, FC, and Felipe for the super chats. Big up to you guys. Make sure you slap the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Joining us now on the channel so we can freak out a bit more space later. We've got Zlatan, Ibra, the infamous in the comment section. We've got Yuvraj, we've got Minerals, and I believe Man United fan Christopher has joined us as well. So I want to start with Yuvraj first. Go on, Yuvraj, what are you saying?
Big up, Sam, big up. Chat, I'm not going to get too excited. I mean, I'm excited about the links, but I'm not going to get too excited over are we going to get them or not, because I know our owners. Our owners are always going to pull something out the bag. They always pull out a surprise. But look, on the Jude Bellingham thing, we should be getting him. They wasted the year. We wasted the year on him. We wasted the year. It should be principle. Get him.
Did he just leave? Or am I
Still there.
bugging?
Something happened.
Sky
Okay.
Wi-Fi?
No, my Wi-Fi is good. I have no idea what just happened.
I thought it
Okay, Yuvraj, my bad, brother. I have no idea what happened there. You suddenly, mid-sentence, just disappeared. Okay, maybe it was FSG cutting you off. Perhaps that's what the comment section is saying anyway. But big up to you, Yuvraj. If you can join in a bit, we'll add you. I see everyone in the back. Let's just let these guys speak and then we'll add you guys. So I want to go to Zlatan next. Go on, Zlatan.
Hey, big up everyone. Hey, Chris, big up for being here, even though it's enemy territory. And by the way, every city is a red, even though we know that, city is on top right now at the moment. But I wanted to basically talk about in terms of, the links that we have I actually saw that Rice is supposed to be going to Bayern, but who knows what's going to happen. Um, I believe the fact that people saying that Mason is going to be a great option for Liverpool, it just doesn't make sense to me when we have Kone, that is basically a Conte slash a Caicedo 2.0 kind of player. There's no way I would want a Mason to be part of Liverpool instead of Claudio Kone, or Thuram. I know Thuram needs to improve certain part of his game, but overall, I think he's probably would be more suited to us than the London. I would want to call him the London Camel, called Mason Mount, because he's just he's just too slow. Uh, but
You
anyway,
just call him the London Camel.
I call him the London Camel. Yeah, he suits that name.
That is an insane slander name. I'm gonna steal that from you. That's insane, bro. I said the London
Dude,
Camel, yo.
I've never seen anything that makes him attractive in terms of I know we've been linked to him for a while, but the more I think about it, the more I see. I'm just not just seeing the highlights of the Manu Kone or something. I've been saying Manu Kone is a Liverpool type of player about 2 seasons ago, at least within my group of friends. I would say he's more suitable to us because he is someone that exactly is sort of like a replica, hybrid between like the players we had previously. So a hybrid between Gini and Fabinho. If you think about it, like he's industrious, he's great at tackling. He can play number 8 box to box, and he can play DM. So I don't know what else we need in terms of a player to add to the roster in terms of midfield. Um, so that he would be a perfect fit. As far as Turam, I think he would be more attacking. I know he I'm seeing the emojis coming out, but yeah, I think he suits us more in terms of going forward, the breaking up, breaking down the lines, and when we are playing someone that
I
is
hear you, but Kone,
defensive teams.
I think Kone transforms our midfield. I'm gonna be so honest with you.
Absolutely, yes, I
Yeah,
do agree.
I think that's why I always prefer Kone to Turam. But I'm happy we want both though. That's the thing.
Yes, I think they suit us both,
Okay.
in a different way.
Man, guess what?
Yeah,
Kone
Uncle Albert.
And Turam together, you just add 5 million. It's just 5 million less than Manchester United want to buy Mason Mount for.
Yes. In fact, it might be less than that because I've heard some figures like Kone can be as low as 20 to 35, 25 to 35 million quid, and then Turam is around what 45 to 50, something like that.
45 million euros they're asking. So
Yeah,
if
it's crazy.
if you add it, Manchester United will probably pay more for Henderson too than we are going to pay for two of them. That's why I'm saying that we should finish those transactions and finish quickly.
Quickly, yeah, 100%.
Because after the international window, assuming they're going to have blinders in the UEFA Nations League,
Albert, you don't even, you know what it is? You don't even need to go to the past. Look at the current window we're in. As soon as we saw people interested in Bellingham, we stopped. As soon as we saw people interested in Ugarte, we stopped. We ain't trying to do no transfer war. That's the thing. So I agree with you completely.
Supporters need to be happy. They've done 2 bullets. The first one is Bellingham. The second one is Mount. Jude Bellingham is going to have a knee operation at 19 for possible.
Listen, we all know the problem with Bellingham. It was never Bellingham himself. It's the fact that you wasted a year of our life on nothing. And the fact I'm going to be bald, that's a personal problem. But listen, speaking of Man United and Mount, I believe Christopher is a Man United fan.
Yeah.
So,
I died.
Go on,
First,
Chris.
I want to start off with all this slander. You're talking about the Community Shield. If you want to count the Community Shield, we have more trophies than Liverpool. So you played yourself. First of all, I'm hearing...
No, you don't.
Yeah, we do. With Community Shields,
no, you don't.
No,
do.
you
With the
don't.
Community Shield, we have more, and with the major ones, we have more too.
Yep. Yep.
Bro,
United 73,
trophy-
Liverpool 75.
Yes.
Second of
Now
We
all,
have
sit
two
down,
more.
please.
I'm hearing that we're 4 points
Sit
behind
down. Listen to
table.
Daddy.
I'm hearing that you're 4 points behind us. You're 8 points actually. But I want to talk about Liverpool though. I think they're improving. I actually think they'll win the league next year. And I agree with you, Sam. This league for United is false. We're actually not that good, bro. I can see us falling outside the top 4. I could see us being like 5th or 6th next season. I don't really think that we're as good as people are saying. And I think Liverpool will win the league next season. And I think Arsenal and Man City will be up there as well. But I don't see us there yet. And I'm hearing all this talk about Mason Mount. I'm finished. He's shit, bro. He's shit, bro.
So you're saying Liverpool's Merseyside is red, right?
I was joking about that. Of course it's red, bro. Everything I shit, like, of course it's red. I was just having bad.
Bro, Everton almost got relegated. What are we doing here?
But it,
Yeah, I know.
Everton
No,
doesn't-
I think he was trolling, but yeah, it was a
But
fun
Come
banter.
on, man.
that you're Chris, right? The Manchester United guy. You're Chris.
Yeah.
No, but sorry, Albert. I have to ask him because I'm not gonna let him
Yeah.
get away with
But
this. I
bro,
have to ask him.
bro. But first of all, I'm hearing all this United slander. We have the most league titles in the Premier League. We are the kings of the Premier League, bro. You're all 4 to our feet, bro. 13 Premier Leagues. Also,
Okay, Chris, let me ask you a question.
yeah,
Have you ever been to Old Trafford?
yeah, I've been to Old Trafford, of course.
Do you sing 20 times or 13 times?
20 times in it, but bro, we have
Okay. Okay. So
okay.
you know that no, because as a Man United fan, history matters. Because if I bring some guy maybe younger than you now, he'll tell you I've never seen United win the league. And then what are you gonna tell him? So history matters. But forget this argument. I actually really want to know your opinion as a Man United fan on the whole Mason Mount stuff. Like what are you saying on that? Because I'm not gonna let you get away with it without telling me your opinion.
Yo, I can't lie. I feel like my club is cursed, bro. Everything that could go wrong is going wrong, bro. I'm hearing before the FA Cup final, the biggest game in like the last, I would say, 10 years, the biggest game last 10 years. I'm hearing that the Glazers are gonna stay. And then this guy, Avram Glazer, with his fucking dead trim, bro, shave your hair off. I see him in the stands there. The same guy who ruined my club. Aye. And then I see Fergie in the stands, bro. I see David Beckham just shaking their head. And I can just tell they're thinking in their head, Man United are shit right now, bro. It's peak for us, bro.
Let me make
Do you
it
think
worse for
Mason
you.
Mount fixes that though?
Let me make it worse for you. Every
Mason
time
Mount, Bruno midfield. Kill me now. Kill me now.
every time the Glazers show up at your match, it costs you $250,000.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah. I know that information. They're dickheads. Fuck them, man, bro. If they die tomorrow,
They live
they die
80
tomorrow.
miles. They
I'm the
live
party.
80 miles.
I don't
They
care.
live 80 miles away
I
from
don't
me.
care, bro. I don't care, bro. Someone needs
They live
to
just
put
up
money
the
on their
road
head.
from me.
So I hate the Glazers my whole life. Someone needs to put money on their heads, bro.
You
We need to
know,
put
you
money
know
on their
what's
heads to
mad?
get them shot.
Let me tell you why Christopher is angry right now. I'm gonna tell you why. This is Christopher's life over the last week. No cap, no agenda. I'm just gonna be real. Last week, it's today right now. What is it? It's a Saturday. Last Saturday, he was told they're getting Harry Kane. He was probably positive about winning the FA Cup. He was linked to all.
I was in school,
and he was
bro.
linked to Declan Rice, Caicedo, them.
I was in
now,
school watching Harry Kane
he's linked
highlights,
to
you know.
Mason Mount.
I was
He's
ready.
linked to Hoyland, and he lost the FA Cup final in a week. You understand, like how Rasmus Hoyland, they're trying to go get the shit Haaland, basically. That's basically what they're doing.
Hoyland's
right
dead
now.
food, man. I want Harry Kane so much, bro. I was watching Harry Kane highlights in school. If you don't get Harry Kane, I'm finished. I'm finished, bro. I want Harry Kane.
He's ready for his tan in Madrid.
Chris, let me ask you something. And
He's going to Madrid.
I'm an engineer, so I'm used to doing arithmetic and maths and calculating stuff, right?
Yeah, that's very, very
So
good.
there's a player called Mason Mount. His team says you are asking for money, we won't pay. So if anybody comes to buy you, we'll let you go. That's basically what is happening with Mason Mount.
Yeah.
What he was asking for was to move from £70,000 a week to somewhere around 250K. And his team says, we are not giving it to you.
Rightly so.
So
yeah.
Your team decides to come and pay over the odds for the guy and pay him the amount of money that he was asking for and more. So, which lunatic is running that asylum called Manchester United?
I don't know, bro. We got Sancho here, bro. He was going to Netherlands. I thought he was training, but he was with Harlem Spartans and he was smoking weed in the Netherlands. He comes back, he's moving slow. He's shit. I hate this shit, bro. Sancho. Man said Sancho, you know. You might as well have troops. You look like bro. You might as well have troops on the pitch. I'm finished. Yo, Sancho is the worst player I've ever seen. He's so slow. He can't do nothing. Sancho is on 350k a week. 350k.
You know what's mad today about Sancho? I noticed. You know what's the worst part about watching Sancho? He never takes on his man ever. I don't remember that time he dribbled past
Yo,
someone.
Sam, did you watch the match? Did you watch it?
I did. Yeah.
Garnacho came on, and I got so gassed because I know Garnacho, he could take on his man, and he could try to do something, but Sancho, he can't do it, bro. I don't know what's wrong with him, bro. He might as well be on the bench listening to Little Baby or something, bro. Smoking drugs, doing drillings, get his Rambo out or something, bro. I'm finished. Yo, I'm finished, bro.
You know, I think, Osam, I think what the deal is that Manchester United have been running an agenda trying to take players who have been associated with Liverpool, but they do it the wrong way. Because Sancho was nearly a Liverpool player, and then they went in and paid over the odds for him and got him. And Sancho is a complete fruitcake. I mean, he is a total fruitcake.
Yo, if I saw Sancho, I'll grab him up, you know, I'll be like, take on your man. Oh.
You know, just before go to minerals, here's my thing, bro. You know, the thing is with Sancho, it's the most embarrassing thing. Garnacho come on, who's a youngster, who's been injured for the last 4 months, done more than him in the space of 30 seconds, the whole game. Like, that's the thing. If you're Jadon Sancho, you have to look at yourself in the mirror and go
if anybody, I swear, this fucking fan base trying to back Sancho. If you back Sancho, you're in Harlem Spartans, bro. You're in Harlem Spartans v backing, bro. You were born in Canada.
It's gonna get worse because they're gonna have him and Mason Mount as starters.
Yeah, that's the thing.
The thing is, though, why are people acting surprised that we're in for Mason Mount? Because the Glazers are gonna stay in it. They're gonna stay. Any Man United fan that thinks the Glazers are gonna go, start crying now because the Glazers are staying, bro. I've already accepted. The Glazers are gonna stay, and they spent 80 million on Harry Maguire. And you think they won't spend 70 million on Mickey Mount? Mickey Mount, fam.
No, it's not Mickey Mount. Your name is gonna change to Hump United after you sign Mason Mount.
Thing is, first of all, unbelievable calling from you, Christopher, today. You've been a great addition to the Colin show, my brother. Brought the energy and everything you're saying, regarding Man United. Honestly, like,
bro, Hassam, I'm telling you, I've seen this cycle. If you look at us in the last 10 years, because in the last 6 years, my life has been hell, bro. I'm seeing Liverpool and Manchester City, the two teams I hate the most on top of Arsenal as well. Those men are pussies, the biggest bottlers in Premier League history. Hold that. Wayne Rooney's better than Thierry Henry. We're clear of you.
Chill out. Don't ruin it now. Chill out.
Thierry Henry, you can't chat to Wayne Rooney. You can't chat to Wayne Rooney. Roy Keane's clear of Vieira. But let me carry on. Liverpool and Manchester City, for the last 6 years, I think Liverpool and Manchester City, they've been the two best teams in the world. And Liverpool has been really, really good. Manchester City has been really, really good. And I've seen my team shit. And this is what happens. We finish third or second or fourth. We get top four. We get gassed about Champions League. And then the next year, we fall even below. I'm telling you, we're going to be 6th or 5th next year. And my United fans are going to have egg on their faces, bro. I know that we're going to digress next year, bro. It always happens. Also,
okay.
I want to
we'll see what happens. Listen,
I
co-sign a lot of I co-sign a lot of what you said, except I'm not co-signing Rooney is better than Henry. I'm gonna be real. That one.
Okay. I know that was wild. Can I cook Arsenal though? You Arsenal fans, you fucking pussies, the biggest bottlers in Premier League history. Arteta, that Lego head, bro. You man could never chat to us. Where's your Champions League? 3 Premier League. We got 13. I'll slap you out of there, bitch boys, bro. Imagine. And bro, you Arsenal fans, never compare yourself to the Liverpool side that challenged Man City. They won Champions League. I hate Liverpool, by the way. Slippy G and that. Steven Gerrard, that's my lock.
Chill out.
But yeah, when Liverpool challenged Man City, they were going toe to toe, winning Champions Leagues, winning FA Cup, League Cup. Arsenal, you didn't win shit. The most embarrassing club I've ever seen. You can never chat to me. You can never chat to me. Where's the Champions League? Where's your Premier League? I thought you won the Premier League. The biggest bottle in the Premier League history. Get that out of here, man. A little club, bro. You're not Spurs on steroids. You're Spurs on steroids, bro. You're bottlers. You won a few Premier Leagues, but now you're shit, bro. Arteta, that Lego head, bro. Saka as well. Saka, you just disappeared, bro. Invisibility cloak. Nothing. You have nothing. Nothing in the tank, bro. You're shit. I'm done.
Big up, Chris. Finally, Minerals. Go on, Minerals.
Let's have it right, man. Up to the Minerals, man. But anyway, today was a mad day, and as far as I said, man, like City, man, you need to talk about them, bro. They could be arguably the greatest ever, like Premier League side. I mean, in terms of the football, the way they played. I never seen Man
That's the
United do what
99 side
they're
treble.
doing.
Louder.
Giza, man, they're gonna do the treble, man. They'll slap Inter, mate. Come on.
Yeah, but I'm saying our treble side is better. Our treble side is clear, bro.
Forza
You had
Inter.
academy players as well. You had academy players, homegrown. And Sam, wouldn't you rather win a treble with academy players than the players you bought?
Of
Christopher.
course. Listen, I've
I'm just
already
saying it was
I've
homegrown.
already
Like,
attacked Man City
you
100
know
times.
what I mean, bro. It was homegrown, bro. Like it was like we got the 2 goals in like the final, and we played against the Juventus side with Zidane, all them man, bro. In my opinion, that's the greatest side ever. In my opinion, but this City team though, if people say it's the greatest, I'm be like fair enough because they're sick, they're ballers, bro.
Christopher.
Yeah.
Christopher, I think that I get the feeling that you are not. You are. This is. I don't mean this in the wrong way, so don't take it the wrong way. But you are not. You are not old enough to remember what happened in the Champions League of 1999. You know, you had lost the match in extra time, and Oliver Kahn did between Oliver Kahn and Sami Kufo. They did the 2 big howlers ever in the history of the Champions League by allowing you guys to score from 2 corners in 2
Didn't you
minutes.
do the same against AC Milan? I thought those players were drunk when they were taking the penalties. I ain't having that. You did that against AC Milan.
Now we came back and beat them, right?
Bro, now I wasn't old enough to see it, but I watched it all back in it because I'm Manchester United.
Yeah, of course.
So I know about it.
Of course, I get it. Of course. But like I said, it was the 2 biggest howlers in the history. Oliver Kahn and Sami Kufo. They did the same thing twice in the space of 2 minutes. I couldn't believe they did that. But anyway.
Listen, anyway, you both are talking about the treble that hasn't happened yet. Inter
Your
Milan.
team-
About
your team-
4 years ago, man.
They go to
one second. Inter Milan are gonna save football. You
yo,
remember
Sam, they're not going to, bro. They're gonna bend over.
Listen.
They're gonna bend over Inter on live TV.
Listen
Like
to me,
it's-
brother.
Bro, they're
Relax.
gonna turn him into Kim Kardashian, bro.
Christopher,
It's
listen.
gonna be a mad
Thank
thing.
God.
Live
Chris,
TV,
man.
bro.
Yo, Chris, calm down.
relax, listen. Thank God it's not AC Milan in the final. If it was AC Milan in the final, I'd agree with you. They would ruin AC Milan. Inter Milan have a little bit hope. That's what I'm gonna say. Like
Yeah,
Inter
they be
Milan,
playing well in Syria. They be playing
yeah,
well.
and they can defend well. And look at their
Yeah.
midfield.
That actually,
Look at
Sam,
their
they made very good points.
Actually, if you think about it, Inter is
Brozovic,
actually better
Barella.
team because they are a
Come on, man.
counter-attacking team.
Yeah.
They will
Exactly.
be
And
able
they
to
play on the
defend and
counter.
counter them.
Exactly, and
Better
they'll
than
make
AC
it
Milan.
very ugly.
Okay,
And
let
both-
Minerals land so we can get the people on in the background. Go on, Minerals.
Yeah, exactly, man. They roughed them up, man, today. And City were playing in like first gear, man. They just steamrolled with it. And like KDB, he's being rested, and I fear he's gonna murder Inter sadly, man. Because whether they sit back or not, KDB is gonna break them down. Simple, with a pass or a shot. You know what I mean? So I fear for you Liverpool and City guys. Yeah, Man City got that treble, man, and 3 in a row, man. Come on.
Okay. Big up, Minerals. Big up to Zlatan. Big up, Minerals. Big up, Christopher. Thank you for calling in. I'm gonna add the people in the background now. Appreciate you all, guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
What's
man.
up, Minerals?
First of all, yeah, big up, man. Just want to say
Manchester's red. Manchester's red. Come on. The
Yeah,
Kings
man.
of the Premier League, most league titles. No one can chat to us. We are the Kings. 30 Premier League,
Christopher,
20 league titles.
Big man, it
Christopher, let's
won't
We
not do
are the
look,
next
Kings.
season.
we
See you
ain't
next
All
about to
season.
hail the
start this.
King.
Season
All
the
hail the
We
20th.
ain't
King.
about to start this now.
Sir
Yalla.
Alex
It
Ferguson
will
is
be
the
over
king
next
ever lived.
May.
No
Don't
Manchester
worry.
United slander. We are the
Okay,
Kings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
big up to Sam, man. شكرا يا حبيبي, man.
هلا
شكرا.
والله حبيبي, هلا والله. See you.
أخي.
So big up Zlatan, big up Minerals, big up to Christopher for joining in. We're about to add everyone else in the background now. Big up JW, Gagandeep, Sophia, Ibrahim. If you mess around, you're gonna get kicked out directly because I don't have time for your BS today. Everyone watching us right now, make sure you slap the like button, make sure you subscribe. Big up here to there who sent in a super chat. Let me just read it real quick. He says, top show Hussam. Uncle, crazy that United are low-balling Rashford while offering the camel 300k. Rashford to PSG would serve them right. Brother, I hear where you're coming from and all of that, but like, listen, I'm gonna be just completely honest. Like, when it comes to this whole situation with
I wanted to clarify something about that, but also Mason Mount.
why are you watching Fabrizio Romano's stream? Okay.
That's not me.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's just gonna get a ban from the studio. Imagine trying to copyright infringement me. I'm too quick with this mouse, you know. Don't mess with me. Anyway, here's the thing, like, as positive as you can be about it, and we're gonna go to Sophia and she'll try, you know, explain it to us. But there is just wallahi no explanation. The Mount to Man United, there is just you can't explain it. You just can't explain it. So that's my thing here today. But big up everyone. There's still 250 people watching us. Do make sure you slap the like button. Do make sure you subscribe. We're gonna go to JW first, and then we'll go to Sophia. Go on, JW.
So I'm still wondering what the shape is going to look like next season. Are we playing a 3-4-3? Is Trent moving permanently in the midfield? Because I'm really concerned about the CDM position right now, the DM position. I don't think Fabinho has it left in him. And Klopp's favorite, Jordan Henderson, what to do about him? What to do about him? Because I have a theory right now, which goes like this. Liverpool has a system which is very fragile, which means if Jordan Henderson doesn't do well, Fabinho doesn't do well. Fabinho needs Jordan Henderson to do well. And when Fabinho doesn't do well, Van Dijk doesn't do well, and then it cascades down. And it's a very fragile system where only one player has to screw up for the entire thing to actually crumble on its own. So are we going to, how do we address that? How do we address that?
Here's my response to that, JW. I think Klopp's already come out in the interview and he said, like, basically he's gonna invert next season Trent as well, which is positive for us. I think you look at the players we're linked with in the transfer market and it's positive. You know, Kone, Thuram, etc. The reason why I'm not gonna start doing, you know, backflips is because Liverpool always find a way to mess up transfers. So until I see the player holding the Liverpool shirt, I ain't gonna say nothing. So the player that if you tell me right now who you're confident of getting, it's McAllister, and that's why I agree with you completely. Fabinho needs the midfielders with legs around him. You know, the one thing I'll say with the Henderson stuff is, look, I think Klopp, to an extent, not 100%, but to an extent, has shown the willingness to bench Jordan Henderson. But he needs midfielders he can rely on too. You look at Thiago, for example. What's been the problem with Thiago? He's always injured. So he can... I still remember when we played the midfield. Remember the NFT midfield? Fabinho, Thiago, Keita. He's benched Henderson before. The problem is they just have a problem with either staying fit or their ability, or maybe they're not good enough. That's the issue. So for me, I'm going to be honest with you, JW. If we sign 3 midfielders like planned, I do not see a world in which Jordan Henderson starts a game of football other than the Europa League, FA Cup, and Carabao Cup. That's my honest opinion.
But again, are we going for a midfield control, like a Thiago type situation, or are we going for the donkeys like Genie and all that run? No, and that's a compliment right there in that sense that Klopp's system wears people out 2 seasons before everyone else. He will make
Would you
run
call
so much.
Kone and Thuram donkeys?
No, I don't. I haven't seen them enough, so I'm asking you actually.
Okay, they're not work rate guys. The guys in the background. As soon as we're done, we're gonna add you guys. Don't worry about it. I don't think they're both. Here's the thing: Thuram is more pace and power. He has a lot of pace and power. With Kone, he's a defensive presence. He can pass the ball. He's very good on the ball as well, which is why I actually prefer Kone. But when you look at the mixture of what's happening right now, McAllister, Kone, and Thuram, I don't think you look at those three and you go like they're just runners. I think they've got quality on the ball as well. So with Trent inverted, I think we're probably moving in a separate direction.
So don't be surprised if Cody Gakpo moves into the midfield as a 10 at that time. I would not be surprised if he says, I'm up top and Gakpo, you're good on the ball. I can play you as a 10. My thing is we have entirely, if that happens, we have entirely too many people of the same profile. You know, it's like Chelsea. They have 30 players and they're all equal to each other. All right. So what happens then?
So let me try and stab at answering your question. I've said, and I said this on Kopish, that nobody should try the second guess Klopp. Wait until our first off-season match against Leicester and then the second one against Bayern. Then you're going to have a little bit of an inkling into what he's going to do. Why am I saying that? You raised the Trent question. Trent moves into midfield as what? Are we going now with the box and we are going to have 3 back, like some of us had been saying we should have a 3 back and going with a 3 up top? Or he's going to go with a flat 4 in the middle, a flat 3 at the back, and a flat 3 on top.
Yeah.
More like he's condensing the pitch. Because whatever he does, he has to get rid of the highlight. That's like point number 1. Because if he doesn't get rid of the high line, we are going to get exposed over and over and over again. And with the box, if he simply goes to invert Trent and keeps Konate as the person who is more or less going to pick up where Trent should be, Konate gets injured. I'll give him maximum five matches he gets injured. And that brings more problems. The other thing he can do, which I suspect he may do, is to just pull a flat back 4 with a new fullback and move Trent into the middle, which I would like to see. Because I've heard them trying to talk about links with Kenny Tete. I've heard this fullback from Galatasaray, Sasha Bowie. I've heard those. So, and then of course there's Juren Timber. So we'll see.
So if he goes 4-3-3 with Trent in the midfield, does he play an 8 or a 10?
I even see him playing a double pivot with 4. Listen, I'm not trying to second guess Klopp, man. It's a very difficult thing to do because you might see him using Alexis McAllister as his goalkeeper. You might see Alisson. You might see Alisson as a centre forward. You never know. Sophie,
Chill out, Albert. Chill out.
Uncle Albert, come on now.
Yeah, Uncle Albert.
Calma.
Our manager thrives on his eccentricity, right? He thrives on it. So, and he's gotten almost all the fans, basically lapping out of his palm. That's one of his biggest strong points. So let's see.
My biggest criticism for Klopp is the amount of running he expects his players to do, and his insistence on a thin squad does not make sense.
When he ran only 10 meters and got a hamstring, right?
So I don't understand. He needs a larger squad than most teams because of the amount of running he expects his players to do.
Whatever happens,
and he goes the exact opposite of it, and then he wonders why.
Happens, we are going to need a deep team. We are going to need different looks. See, one of the good things that happened to us towards the season's end is almost all our attackers came back. So we could give different looks to different teams. For example, something wasn't going right. You had Jota on the bench. Jota comes in and changes the game. maybe you have Gakpo on the bench. Gakpo comes in and changes the game. He's going to have that with his midfield, because any team that doesn't get a contribution of goals from the midfield, maybe 10 to 15 in a season, you're not going to get anywhere. You can't rely on Salah to score all the goals and then complain when he gets 30 goals a season. I mean, Salah got a third of the goals we scored, and we are still complaining that he had a bad season. What's a bad season when you get 30 goals? I mean, let's
Goal scoring
analyze.
is goal scoring is not Liverpool's problem. It's giving up goals. And
True, that's what I'm saying.
And the
you
only
see-
thing and then again, there's one more question. The only thing I miss about Mane is his pressing from the front. He was the best at it in the team. And now Firmino is gone.
I miss Mane every day, and I know.
So I don't
please don't go
I'm not
there,
missing him. I'm
man.
missing his pressing, and I don't know who's on top. Nunes and Gakpo, and who's the third one?
Man, I've given up on Nunes. Let me tell you, I've given up on him. You know, Hossam will tell you, I was one of his biggest defenders until he missed that chance against Brentford, and I was like, okay, I give up. That's okay. I give.
We need somebody to press from the front, and Firmino is gone. Mane is gone. Who is going to do that?
That's why you see. I think that when it comes to pressing,
Gakpo.
Yeah, Gakpo is good at it, and I think that bringing in the like McAllister and Kone will do a lot for pressing, especially McAllister, because he's very good at pressing. So we need to get those. Look, we need to get a deep team. My brother JW, we need to get a deep team. Hopefully, we don't get to see Henderson. Hopefully, we don't get to see that much of Elliott, and we are good to go. Because none of the big six teams can tell me that they will give Elliott 42 games a season. That's mediocrity right there.
Okay, before we go to Sophia, who's an Inter fan, let me address this Inter fan in the comment section. Mo, let me tell you something. I hope, I don't know if that's footy judge Mo, Sahibna, if it's him. Let me just tell you this, brother. I know you work with Daps a lot and stuff, but you don't have to twerk for City like this. As an Inter Milan fan, you cannot twerk for Manchester City this way. You can't. You are the supporter. You are the supporter of a historic club in Inter Milan. You can't sit here وقاعد بترقص زي روبي for Manchester City. ما بصير. انت ما بصير. You can't twerk. All this step further away, blah blah blah. Bro, if I spent as much as I spend, as Manchester City spend, I'd be sat here 5-time league champion winner. I'd be sat here with 3 Champions Leagues. Let's cut the crap here, Mo. Come on. Anyway, speaking of Inter Milan, go on, Sophia. Speak to the people.
I mean, I saw you were live. I tried to sleep, and I was like, I can't sleep. So I was like, let me just hop on. Well, why not? Just talk and whatnot. So, we watched the game. It is what it is. It was upsetting. And now I need to rely on my second team, Inter, to do it. So I need Lukaku to have a masterclass. Hopefully make the Stallion.
Shit. Both of your teams are coming up against Man City. That's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Sophia, let me tell you who's going to be the man of the match. It's your goalkeeper. He's the best player in that team apart from Barella.
Onana?
Yes.
Really?
Nah,
Onana has kept.
Barella is the guy, Albert. Don't try.
I said he's the best player in the team apart from Barella.
Listen, Barella is just, every time I watch him, I cry.
Onana has kept your team in the Champions League. Check out the saves.
Don't do that, Sophia. Don't do that. Every time I watch Barella, I want to cry. Like my soul cries because I just imagine him in a Liverpool kit and I want to cry.
He's the best midfielder in Europe. There's no two ways about it. Barella is a.
I think he's better than KDB.
Yeah, absolutely.
No.
Chill out, relax.
He is better than KDB. Guys, watch his defensive side of the ball and watch his offensive side of the ball. The guy is at one end picking up on defense, and he at another end he's scoring a goal. KDB can do that.
Okay, let me not say
But-
anything
but
nice about
KDB
Inter
does
because
one thing better than anyone else.
yeah, let me not say anything good about Inter because Mo is still in the comment section. But go on, Sophia. Carry on.
No, I mean, you know, I had to turn it off when when the game was finished. I did a live match reaction and whatnot, spoke my piece, but I could not see them, you know, lift the trophy yet again. Even though I do believe that Inter will show up, I have faith that they will show up. So yeah, the trouble will be restored and whatnot, but it's just a bummer that Man United wasn't able to do it. So yeah, I don't even. Ugh.
Inter
But
What do you make of the Mason Mount rumors as well? Looking at today's game, honestly, where
yeah,
does he play?
no, thank you. That's all. Nope, that is not for
You're
me.
saying no, thank you, but Ten Hag wants him. What can we do?
Yeah, you know, hey, you know, if he come the season, next season, and whatnot, if he wears a Man United shirt, what am I gonna do? It is what it is. But I will still, regardless, you know, have my own opinion. I'll support the manager, but I don't think Mount will be the right fit for Man United. We need other midfielders. I need like a proper ball carrier and whatnot. You know, somebody that can carry the ball properly. I just don't feel like I don't really get why
Mason
we
Mount can carry the ball.
not the way that I want it. Nope.
They still need a goalkeeper who can
He
pass
carries
outside.
himself. He
Their
carries.
ideal midfielder would be Frankie de Jong.
Thank you.
Yes.
Him
We
and
ain't getting
Casemiro
him, but
double
you know,
pivot.
And
that
they
would
need a
that is
they need a
music to my
goalkeeper who can
ears.
play.
Excuse me, Mount? No. I'm not gonna sit here and say that he's shit. He's not. He's not crap. I'm not gonna say that. He'll make do for somebody. I just don't think he'll be Man United. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, before we go to Gagan Deep, let me just say this about Sophia, right? Sophia comes in here, does the whole good Samaritan, I'm a good person stuff. Every time we lose a game or draw a game, she's in my DMs laughing at me, sending me the cherry emoji every single time. So, all these smiles and stuff ain't gonna work on me. You get me? You have to hold it because you lost today. The
I am
treble's
holding
gone.
it. Have I not
100%.
hold it? I'm here.
You are holding it. I appreciate you coming on. Your treble, one of your clubs is now reliant on your other club to save your first club. That's the problem now. So if Inter don't come through for you, it's you who
They
are in
will.
trouble.
They will come through. Calma.
I
No
hope
worries.
so.
More
I'm
than you
for
believe,
the
they will
Inter in
come
the
through.
final.
The
Make no
only
mistake.
chance the only chance Inter has if they pull a Gundogan today, score in 13 seconds and put 11 behind the ball. All right.
Bro,
For
I'm
the
so
next
happy Inter won, not AC, because Inter can defend. I'm gonna be real with you. They
for
can defend.
89
There's
minutes. They
AC.
will need to defend for 89 minutes. Then we need to put 11
They
behind
can
the
do
ball.
that.
afterward.
Bastoni has
They
to
are
have the
very
game of
good
his
at
life.
doing that.
Telling
And they
you,
are
they'll
very
show up.
good at hitting you on the break. They are very, very good at doing that. So, like I said, Manchester, look, today, let's just admit it. Manchester City were not impressive.
They weren't.
They won.
They weren't.
They weren't impressive. If they play like that against Inter, they will lose.
Yes.
If they play like,
Yes.
look, Inter has a very, very good goalkeeper. The second goal that went in against De Gea doesn't go in against Onana. It doesn't happen.
No, one thing you are not giving Pep credit for this season is this team has the ability to grind results out. They were stuck in the first gear. They were stuck in the first gear for most of the time. They had two moments of brilliance which you can't legislate for. All right, those two goals were just. There's nothing anybody could have done about those two goals. All right. But one thing they knew, they are not playing well and they are not going to beat themselves. They are going to grind it out. If it means defending for 40 minutes, once they got a 2-1 lead, they knew they're not going to be scoring, but they will not make any stupid mistakes to allow them over there. This Pep team has that mentality. If they go up 1-0, they can also defend for 89 minutes. Don't get me wrong. This is
They
a
can.
Pep side that you have.
That is fair.
I'm sorry.
No, I just said that a fair point, but I believe Inter will show up. So
yeah, I'm rooting for Pep, even though I'm a Liverpool fan. I'm rooting for Pep.
Yeah, brother. So sorry, but that didn't happen.
No, because to me
And
he is the goal.
I simply don't want Manchester City to win a Champions League. Bro, if they win one, they win two, they win three. For the
Yeah.
next 10 years,
And we
they
all
win
just
everything.
come
That's
together,
the
just
thing. That's the thing. People, I think, maybe just like maybe aren't considering is people think City are gonna win this one and then bounce. They ain't gonna bounce, bro. They win this, they're winning next year, and they're
You
winning, and
know,
they're winning again,
Hossam,
and they're
And
winning
what
again,
you're
and
apparently,
they're winning
saying
again.
is so
and
right.
apparently they're
I
interested in Kimmich.
rooted for them. I rooted for them to win their first championship. That match against QPR, I was rooting for them to win. And then
We
guess
all
what
were,
happened?
We all
So
did.
many years later, now they've won
except
6.
Sophia, of course, but we all were.
No, don't do that, bro. They'll win
No,
10
but what do you mean,
because
Sophia? Sophia, 10 years ago, who cared about City? We all hated you guys. No one cared about City. Bro, when Aguero scored, I celebrated that shit like I was a City fan. Let me tell you right now. So,
yeah.
Oh,
you know,
I
that's
still have the Aguero. Nope. No, thank you. That was horrible.
Aguero. What a
and,
moment.
and by the way,
Arabic
you
commentators
know
were even better
their
than
owner has the luxury of going to his dad and telling him, "Daddy, we finally won the Champions League. We need about $1 billion more." His dad's like, go to the bank and tell him to hand it over.
Balotelli's only
Unbelievable.
assist for City as
Let him
well,
give it
by the
to
way.
the crack.
No, thank you.
You know, just before we go to Gagandeep, you know, for me, I don't even want City to lose. I want City to lose with pain. I want.
I want to see tears.
This is what I want. You remember the penalty that Liverpool got against Spurs? What I want is, listen to me. This is horrible. I have three horrible scenarios.
Go ahead with your
I want
sinister stealth. Go.
Yes, I want Eden Dzeko to just cross it into like Rodri's hands or something, and then a penalty is given, and then Inter win 1-0. The second scenario, which would be this second scenario, I would inject it into my soul, not just my veins.
Oh Lord.
If Inter Milan win 1-0 and Eden Dzeko scores the goal, the former City player scores the goal, and there's a third scenario, which if this happens, City fans need to delete their social media. If Romelu Lukaku scores the winner
Oh my
against
God.
Manchester City,
Yes.
if Romelu Lukaku leaves Chelsea, goes to Inter and wins the Champions League before Pep Guardiola, and he scores the winner, those three scenarios, I'm
How
taking
about
any of
both
them.
of them score? How about that? How about that?
There's a fourth horrible scenario, which is
you
even
know
more
why we're
painful.
talking about this, right?
Let me tell you, if they lose on penalties, oh God. Oh
Let me-
God, if Man City lose on
Oh, Sam,
penalties.
let me give you my scenario. They score an early goal through Dzeko, first 10 minutes, and then they park the bus and add a fire truck and a saloon car in front of the bus and the fire truck. And then last second of the game, when Pep has thrown everybody forward, Barella comes and finishes it off.
Yes, I'm taking that. I'm taking that all day.
Sam,
every
do
day.
you know why we're talking like this, right?
Why are we
Because
talking like this?
Because we're
Tell us.
absolutely terrified of what would happen if it doesn't go our way, even though it's only a 1% chance. Hamza is going to be insufferable.
Oh,
basically.
talk about Hamza. I forgot point number 4. I need Hamza to have lost that match. Hamza, I need you to lose that match.
He's the only unbearable
I
City
can
fan.
come on Spaces and deal with you. Listen, nobody has ever won an argument against Hamza in this time.
That
of
cap,
Manchester
I've won multiple arguments
I feel
against
like
him.
that is a bit of a cap.
Hossam, you know, this year I've watched you. When he's cooking Liverpool, you just keep quiet.
No. I don't let him cook
When Hamza's cooking Liverpool,
Yeah, you know what's
just
smart
keeps
with
quiet.
Hamza? Let me
No,
tell
when
you.
Hamza cooks anybody, everybody's
Let me tell you what I do with Hamza to play it smart. With Hamza, you have to play your cards right. You have to play it right. So what I do is, whenever he's cooking anyone else, I join in. I help him cook everyone else. So Liverpool just stay away from the convo. We
And
just
guess
stay away
what?
from it.
The
You
dude
know,
has
if you
facts.
actually listen to Hamza
He
on
has
Spaces
facts,
this year,
he has figures, he has times and places and dates.
listen,
and he can
if you
tell
listen to Albert, if you listen to Hamza this year, he's probably given Liverpool more prop this year than ever his whole life. He's like, this is him cooking Arsenal fans last week. When we were playing Liverpool, we were actually sweating. These Arsenal guys didn't even make us sweat. And he was just putting, yes. I'm like, yes, Hamza. Anyway, go on, Gagandeep, before we add the last people remaining in this call-in show. Go on, Gagandeep.
Yeah, thanks, man. Big up for having me on. Much appreciated. I think I asked this question on Jamie Phillips's call-in show. And I think Albert knows. Albert did actually answer this as well, but I just
Yeah,
wanted to get
Gabs, how
your
are you?
opinion on this. I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing okay.
Good. Yeah, so Albert actually answered this, and he agreed with me. So
Mm.
this 3-2-2-3 formation, when Trent tucks into midfield and creates the pivot with Fabinho, how sustainable do you think this formation is? Because I don't think this formation is sustainable in the long term.
I think it's very sustainable in the long term because City are using it right now and they're absolutely dominating everyone. The team that finished in second place are using it. City used it the year before with Cancelo being inverted. I think the inverted fullback is something that definitely 100% works. And for us, it's even more sustainable. I'll tell you why. Trent is the best fullback on earth on the ball. On the ball, there is no one that comes near to him when it comes to passing, when it comes to stuff like that. Like, genuinely, no one touches Trent Alexander-Arnold's passing as a fullback. When you invert someone with that caliber of a passing ability into midfield, it works. But here's where the sustainability test will work or it won't work. It won't even be about the midfield. It'll be about the center backs. Van Dijk and Konate and whoever the guy we buy in the summer, they need to turn up because we can't be conceding some of the stuff. I mean, you look at that Southampton game, for example, Gagandeep. The one thing we learned or we cemented from that Southampton game is Matip and Gomez simply can't be starting together any game of football. That's the one thing we learned together. So that's just the truth. I don't know why you don't think it's sustainable though.
The reason why I don't think it's sustainable is when we get hit on transition, when Trent is tucked into midfield, Konate has to cover right back and centre back. Like, say for example, they just hit us like one ball over the top or something, and Trent isn't back in time. Then Konate is basically 2 against 1 with their left central midfielder and their winger. And the thing is with Konate, my issue with Konate is he's already picking up a lot of hamstring injuries and he's already injury prone. With this new system where he has to cover right back and centre back, I think we are in massive danger of finishing his career by the time he's 27 years old because of how injury prone he is. Now, the problem I have with this is now, if we do this 3-2-2-3, when we're like in attack, I would probably, and the other thing is the right, and the left centre back have to kind of have to be very good on the ball as well, because, and the one criticism I do have about Konate especially is he's okay on the ball, and I've seen him a few times do the Matip role where he drives into midfield, but at certain points he does look very uncomfortable on the ball. And his strength is actually defending, like actual defending, like his strength, his pace, his power, recovery pace, and his defensive work is very good. So for me, if we do the 3-2-2-3, I think he ideally needs to be in the center of the three because he's the less ball progressive player, and then you need the other two beside him to be so we need someone who can also cover ground, be defensive, and also be like the ball progressors, so the left and the right centre backs. And I don't know, you could maybe play Van Dijk left of the centre or left of the three or right of the three, but I think you kind of have to sort of accommodate it based on how injury prone our centre backs are. So that's why I don't think it's sustainable in the long term. Just for the
I hear you,
defensive.
man. Big up.
Dags, let me help
Go
you.
on.
Let me help with that argument. See, Hussam, notice that Pep has gone straight up into playing 3 centre backs.
Yes.
And a box 4. So he's actually moved John Stones, who is a centre back, into the midfield. If we're going to do that, we need to move Trent completely into the middle of the park and put 3 centre backs there. Because one of our biggest problems this season, and you are the person who keeps saying it, and people don't see it, is Robertson.
Yes.
One of our big look. As much as we want to criticize Trent and say Trent is weak defensively, his compatriot on the other side of the pitch has been worse.
His legs are gone.
He's worse. So you can't play virtually Robertson as another centre back. And look,
No,
our
you can't.
coaches have seen it. That's the reason why they are looking at Van der Ven. That's why they are looking at Gvardiol. That's why they are looking at Indica. That's why they are looking at notice all these centre backs they are trying to look at. Most of them are left-sided centre backs because they realize what will happen to Konate if we keep giving him the responsibility of covering up for Trent when Trent is not there. Trent doesn't like to defend. Let's not force
Not
it
good
on
at
him.
it either.
He doesn't like to defend. So,
Hussam, I was gonna ask you another question as well,
yeah,
actually.
go ahead, sir.
I
Sophia
don't think
Maguire is
anybody
your captain. You need some
I
self-awareness.
don't think anybody's really picked up on this,
Captain.
but I wanted to get your opinion. And anybody else feel
Tell
free to jump in too. Have we missed a trick in who we've appointed as our sporting director?
Of course we have. 100%.
Because because the thing is, the obvious choice would have been, for me personally,
Paul Mitchell?
nope, someone even closer to Klopp,
Who?
Oh no.
Ralph Ragnick. Now I know he's the Austrian national team manager currently because I actually checked this. But
Yes, he is.
why? The thing is if we're big bad Liverpool,
Gagandeep, what are you doing?
go to him. We can go up to him. We can go to him.
He ain't bad.
Contact. You can go to him. You can go to him,
He ain't
and
bad. Would
you
you
could
take
be
him
like,
as sporting
look,
director, Sophia?
What?
do you
Would
want
you
to be
take him as sporting
director of
director,
football?
Sophia?
We had him. We served him a
No,
language,
no,
but
no,
we
no,
fucked
no,
him
no,
over.
no. You're
No.
not gonna get away with it. You had him as a manager. Would you take him as sporting director?
I would.
Okay, fair enough. So you keep the same attitude. Okay.
But
That's what I'm trying to say.
Sophia,
Uh-huh.
do you
No,
know
the
that
reason why go on,
Gagan,
sorry.
Sophia,
Yeah,
do
let
you
let
know that
Gagan. So what's the reason why you want him?
Because if you look at his network of players, a lot of the players that we've had that were successful in the first Klopp era were part of his Red Bull network. So you had Konate was his recommendation. He said to bring Konate in instead of Upamecano. Thank God we didn't bring that bozo into our football club. Sadio Mane. I think Roberto Firmino as well because of that German connection. And he also was the one who recommended United to go on by Luis Diaz, and they didn't go and get Luis Diaz.
And Julian
So
Alvarez as well.
and Julian Alvarez. So
Enzo Fernandez.
his book of his scouting talent is second to none. And plus, he's the one that in his Red Bull philosophy, like Klopp kind of adopted, and other managers have adopted as well. So he knows Klopp very well. He kind of knows the philosophy that Klopp plays with very well as well. And he's worked with Klopp in the past. So I think we missed a trick with Ralph Ragnick. I genuinely
Okay, look,
think
I
we would have
hear
done
where you're
Ralph
coming
Ragnick.
from. I hear where you're coming from, and here's the thing. First of all, look, I reacted like that was a howler, but Loki, I see what you're on now. Like you're just talking sporting director. The problem is my brain keeps going to the manager, Ralph Rangnick, which I need to stop doing.
Hey, that was my
Yeah,
club. They are leaves just imbeciles. They don't know what they're doing. Don't judge him on that. The guy is still. Hey.
Yeah,
it is
that's
what it is,
different.
but-
I think sporting director is a completely different situation.
The thing is,
Yes.
Ralph Ragnick is a character that Klopp can't push over either.
I agree.
But we have to question, does he have a robust sense of humor? That's the most important thing. Anyway, listen, big up Sophia, big up Gagan, big up JW. Thank you for
Sophia,
joining us.
Before you go,
yes.
Do you know that when Maguire was at Leicester, he was a defensive midfielder? Do you know that?
Hey,
Before he went to
he's a
Leicester.
better
He
passer
wasn't
than he's a
central.
defender.
He wasn't a central defender. That's why I'm so surprised that you guys are surprised that he's fucking up where you put him, because he wasn't a central. He wasn't a central defender. You can check. He was a defensive
Listen,
midfielder.
we'll see what George Schmatka does with time.
Give
Anyway,
good
big up
word,
to you three.
Has
give
been
a word to
brought
Pep. He will
Osam.
turn him into a baller. Believe
Osam,
me.
Albert, let me just add the 5 guys in the background because they've been waiting for a while. So let me just transition them into here, and then we'll come to you. Don't worry. Big up to you guys. Thank you guys so much.
Big
Everyone
up.
in the background been waiting patiently. Big up, Sophia. Make sure to go check out Sophia's football talk as well. Make sure to go
Thanks,
subscribe.
bro. Thank you.
Good luck in your last game of the season because it's Inter.
Forza
not Milan.
Inter. Meg the
Yes,
Stallion.
Yes.
Yes.
Thanks for having
Luca,
me on,
La
man.
Caca.
appreciate you. See you.
Bye-bye.
See you. See you.
See you.
See you, Gagan Deep as well. We've got K-Mac in the background. I see Toto. Big up to Faris. Paul, just show me your face so I know you're a real human being. Okay. Paul Smith, hello. Big up to Bangham.
I gonna talk to you a minute.
Everyone in the background been waiting patiently. Big up, Sophia. Make sure to go. Yo, Bangham, you've got to turn off my YouTube so I can't hear I don't hear myself in the background. You got to just turn off my YouTube or mute it so I can only hear you here. See you. See you.
See you.
See you, Gagan Deep as well. Okay. Bangham, I hope you hear me on YouTube. You've got to mute the YouTube, my brother, so you can hear me only here. Big up to you. Paul, I remember who Paul is now. Big up Paul, man. Big up Paul. Big up Paul, my brother. Joe, same thing. Just show me your face so we can add you. Joe, are you here? I hope Bangham has heard me. Perek, same thing. You guys got to just show me your face and then you can turn off your camera if you want. So, no face. Bangham, if you're ready, just DM in the private chat without me in the background. Anyway, go on, K-Mac. Talk to me, brother.
Hey up, everyone. I was listening to your show yesterday with Monts. I've been on Monts' show a few times. That was interesting. And big up, Albert.
Hey, big up, K-Mac. How you doing, man?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. And yourself?
I'm doing well.
I've just been listening to a lot of your guests. Gangham's got a point about the director of football, by the way. Ralph Ragnick was the father of Red Bull Salzburg Scouting Network. That's an interesting shout. I would say the actual director of football we've got might actually be a really good one for this moment in time. And the reason why is, I mean, I don't know whether a lot of you know, but his son actually is working for the club that Manu Kone plays for. So we've got a direct line into that club through George Smack's son, who's a scout there.
Sporting director of Mönchengladbach. Yeah.
Yeah, Bruce.
He's a scout. He's a scout there. You've also got to look at the fact that George Smack was the manager of Wolfsburg at the start of the year. So he signed, you've got the kid called Van der Ven, who is a really, really good player, by the way. And he's also a left-sided centre-back, and he can also play left-back. And he is a really good player. Let's not make no bones about it. He was recommended by Virgil van Dijk, just like a couple of other players, just like Gapco. And that's kind of how Liverpool do things at the moment. We have our players that are kind of our little mini scouts. And that's how we got a lot of players many years ago with Carragher and Gerrard and Alonso. We use players to get players as well as our own scouting system, because Liverpool wasn't a massive pull, and it really hasn't been a massive pull for a long, long time. And as much as everybody thinks that Klopp is this incredible manager that everyone wants to play for, Liverpool isn't a massive pull because players don't like coming to the Northwest. Like, they just don't. And the only way they're going to come to the north of England is if you pay them 300 grand a week. And unfortunately, Liverpool just don't do that, which is why they end up at Man United or Man City. And that's just the way it is. And if you look at the whole structure of our football club, we pay our players to play. And if they win, they get good money. If they don't, they don't. So this season, we probably haven't spent a lot of money because they didn't win anything. And the really weird thing about it is, even though, okay, so we won those 2 trophies last year, yeah? But if we'd have won the
If we won the
Champions
other
League,
2 trophies, we'd have made less money.
exactly, there you go. You hit the nail on the head. Like, we'd have made so much less money because we'd have had to pay our players so much in bonuses. And it's not even just the players.
Hello?
The management and the coaches get so much money if we win trophies. So that's kind of how it sits. And at the moment...
Hello?
Yo, Joe, wait your turn, my
Hey.
brother. There's people speaking.
And at the moment, the players that we're targeted with are the type of players that Liverpool buy. That is it. Like, they're not world class. They're on that level. They're about 1 step, 2 step behind, and then we can make them world class. And I really think that if we get these players,
Why did we waste a whole year then? That's the issue. We could have signed all these players last summer. These same exact players.
I've spoken to Albert about this. I genuinely believe that we just got lost in our own hype, and we kind of felt we could get away with it because we had, like, we lost our entire defense. So we played our midfielders in defense, and our goalkeeper scored a goal that got us back into the top 4. Like, if you don't think that your club can just carry on doing that, you know, and that's the kind of how it works. And I genuinely believe, and I know you don't like FSG and you want them out, but I genuinely believe Klopp is the reason why we do not spend money. We don't spend money because of him, because he's never spent money wherever he's been. He didn't do it at Mainz. He didn't do it at Dortmund. He really didn't spend money. Like, he got like Lewandowski when he was like 18 from some random Polish club.
I'd agree with you regarding last summer, but I wouldn't say in general though. Last summer, 100%, I agree. I think Klopp could have signed, let's just use the common example, Caicedo. At the start of the window, he was available for 40 million. It's well documented. I think we would have been able to get him at the start of the window. So I think Klopp is culpable for last summer. But then I look at the January window, for example, during COVID, when we were top of the league. I don't think he's the one who, you know, decided he wants Kabak and Ben Davies, for example. So I think there's a balance in there where you have to distribute blame. But of course, Klopp's sentimentality is an issue. There is no doubt about it.
I think the whole COVID thing really derailed us as well, because we couldn't put our hands in our pockets and just cover the costs, because that's not how the clubs ran. The clubs ran off whatever goes in comes out, and we've seen that with the books. You know, we spend everything that we make.
But that's not sustainable with football, though.
It's not sustainable. It's not sustainable, especially nowadays.
If you notice, clubs have high revenues. Bare minimum clubs make profit.
And that's the reason why. And that's the reason why I think we went for that European Super League, because the owners realised we just can't keep up with the sustainability of football. We can't keep up with being a football club owner. They can't handle that, because you need to spend money out of your own pocket. And because they're business owners, they just don't do that. They run a club like a business. They don't run a football club like a football club should be ran. And COVID killed us. I really think it killed us, because we were going to sell Mane. We were probably going to sell some players, because Mike Gordon was the guy that knows when players get to a certain age, you move them on for a value, which is why we've always gone for players that have a high end. They have a sell on. And that's why Man City are so far ahead of us now. I can't see us ever catching them. Like, all of the players that we're looking at, there's loads of players that we're targeted with. Man City have got buy-on clauses. Man City have got Everything that they've sold, all of those kids they've sold to all of those clubs across the whole of Europe, by the way, and we're not even talking about the players they've got in their youth team. They've got buy-on clauses on all of them. They've literally got the whole market nailed for however long. Like they've just got like 2 Argentine wonder kids. They've got Brazilian wonder kids that they've like loaned out. Honestly, they have got it so switched on. They've got the right people. You know, at the end of the day, they may well have cheated, but you know, they're going to get away with it because they can afford it and they can hire the lawyers. And unfortunately, they are just going to dominate. They're just going to go on and on and on. And what's really weird is everyone's raving about this formation that Klopp's got. The only reason Klopp played that formation is because he watched Man City destroy Arsenal with it and copied it and then kept it.
I don't think he copied it because Man City invert the centre back. They don't really.
But he actually said in a press conference that's where the formation came from, because he's seen Man City use it against Arsenal, and then he thought that's going to work against Arsenal, and it did.
Fair enough. Yeah, you're heavy on the Klopp criticism, but I think he deserves criticism. So I'm not gonna sit here and defend him. I just think Klopp.
Oh, 100%. I'm Klopp out. Sorry, I'm Klopp out.
Yeah, that's fine. Listen, I'm not one of them ones who's going to cancel you for your opinion. Don't worry. I think with Klopp, he deserves criticism 100%. I just think, you know, when it comes to Klopp, I'm blaming him for last summer's spend 100%. But the overall conversation over the last 6, 7, 8 years, I'm looking more at FSG's side in the overall context when it comes to transfer spend, because there has been moments even in recent press conferences where Klopp has come out and said, you think we have all this money on the table and we don't want to spend it. So he's already like talking in a sense where like we might not have the budgets of these big clubs that's required to you know, get back to the top.
You
So
say you can't spend 200 million on 4 left wingers and then blame FSG. You just can't. I'm sorry. You know, you can't blame 96 million pounds worth of players just going on free transfers and blame FSG.
No, that's on Klopp. 100%. He's the one that
blame
keeps them until
FSG
that
for
contract
re-signing a 31-year-old midfielder whose legs have gone and putting them on £200,000 a week. You can't do that. You can't blame FSG for those problems. You just turned around and said before that Alisson's on 60 grand a week. Like, he's on 60 grand a week, and you just signed him up again on a new contract. Like, you can't blame
You mean
FSG for that.
Adrian, you mean?
Adrian, sorry.
Yeah.
Not
No, listen,
Alisson.
everything you said
Adrian.
everything you said is fair. Me and you will definitely have a conversation about this. I wish you just joined a bit earlier because we have a little bit of time constraint right now. But
yeah, I was waiting. It's okay. Get me on again though. Hit me up. Get me on again.
100%.
I'll wait in the background though.
Yeah, appreciate it. No. Go on to Toto as well. Another person who's been waiting for a while. Go on, Toto. Me and you have the same mic, by the way.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So, look, link on to K-Max Paul. I think, look, I'm not Klopp out yet. I'm still Klopp in, but I think it needs to be a formation change and a tactic change next season. If we don't get top 4 next season, I'm going to be Klopp out because it's a disgrace how we are playing Thursday nights. Usually a club like Liverpool, big club like Liverpool, should be in Champions League every single season. Not every single season, most of the time in the top 4. We should be playing against the likes of Real Madrid, Barcelona. We should be playing against them. We shouldn't be playing down in Europa League, playing against Wi-Fi passwords. We shouldn't be doing that. We should be in the Champions Leagues, just doing our best. And look, the 4-3-3 false 9, it worked for our 7-game winning run. But look at the teams we were playing. We weren't playing that big team. But as soon as we reached a team like Villa, then we played the false 9. Then we drew. And we fell away a bit. But that's that 7-game winning run. We played the false 9. It was all good because the teams that we played was nowhere near on our skill level. But I'm going to say it again. We faced Villa. Good team. Got Conference League. We drew and we fell away. So look, the formation I would play is a 3-4-3. So I have 3 at the back, 4 in the middle, 3 attack. Of course, you know that. And I think that's how Alexander-Arnold will actually fit because Arnold is playing that inverted role, which provides central support. He's working good, but the thing is, Arnold is a creator. He likes to stay in that middle. Like I said, I think Arnold should be playing centre mid. He shouldn't be playing right back because I think his defensive isn't the best in the world. But like he likes to create. He likes to bring those balls into the forwards. He likes looking for chances. He's a really good free kick taker, and I think he should be playing in midfield or a right mid position. That's what I would play the 3-4-3 because I think Arnold would fit in there. So have like Salah, Nunez, and left wing Gakpo. Because look, to me, I wouldn't play Gakpo centre forward. It's not his position. When he played for PSV, he played left wing. When Nunez played for Benfica, scored, I think 25 plus 30 plus GA for Benfica. Nunez was up in striker, doing his thing. And I think this false nine, it's like, what's the point of buying a striker to chuck him on the left wing? That's what I don't get.
We should never have bought Nunez in the first place.
I know. And look, Nunez should be playing his position. Gakpo should be playing his position. We're buying players that fit our system. Nunez, if Klopp keeps on playing his false nine, what's the point of buying Nunez to sell Nunez? Because Nunez don't play left wing. And I think when he's on the left wing, he's not comfortable there. But when he's on striker, I think that's where he starts to like be more comfortable in his position. But now I think our system needs to change. To me, I would go for a 3-4-3. Arnold will fit in. Nunez will fit in. Gakpo will fit in. We need to start playing our players in position. And that's my view.
Okay, I appreciate you, my brother. Personally, I don't think Gakpo works on the wing. I think he's a lot better down the middle because I don't think he has. I don't think he has that pace and power. To be honest with you, that's needed from maybe a Premier League winger. I think with Nunez, look, we'll see. Like when the season starts next season, we already know what he's on. Because look, at the beginning it was funny, it was haha, chaos, all that crap. But then after that, you've got to deliver as well. Like we can't sit here and say Nunez has had opportunities. He has had opportunities, but he just simply hasn't delivered. Big up to you, Toto. Let's go to Faris next. Go on, Faris.
Well, thank you so much, guys, for having me. It's a pleasure. Hussam, just again, to say congratulations on Al Faisali for winning the Jordanian Pro League Pot 1 AFC Champions League. Here we come. And Albert, it is a pleasure as well. This is the first time you and I get to connect online. Guys, I won't take up too much of your time. I just have a couple of things to say, especially, as a reflection after today's FA Cup final. I know, Hussam, generally in your videos, from what I understand, is you believe and you strongly believe, and Albert and everyone else can chime in, of course. But if you truly believe that we are maybe 1 to 2 pieces away in actually getting back and competing, I think today's match was a stark reminder. They've been, as you guys said, they were in first gear all game. And they just have way too many impactful players.
But they can't beat us in first gear, though, Man City.
No, I agree. But can you imagine after another summer of unloading and offloading more personnel? Hussam, let's be honest, man. Do you really think we're only 1 or 2 windows away from competing against a team that
You need to understand my expectation versus my prediction is 2 totally different things. I expect Liverpool Football Club to challenge for the league next season. I expect us to win it because because here's the thing, with all due respect to any Arsenal fan listening, I'm not trying to become the next Arsenal because that's how your standards drop. You start saying, "Oh, I'd be happy with top 4," and then before you know it, all hell breaks loose, and then you're just a top 4 club for the next 5 years. So I expect us, yes. Couldn't care less about all this process, step by step. We have the spine. When you have the spine, you don't need no process. Salah is better than Saka. Van Dijk is better than Saliba. Blah, blah, blah is better than blah, blah, blah. World-class players. World-class players deliver titles. They don't deliver top 4.
We don't have world-class players, mate. We don't.
We definitely do. Based on form this season, yes, but we all know that that's not the real them. It's just like you watch
world-class players I would call world-class.
Alisson's world class, 100%.
We have 4.
Trent's world class. Van Dijk's world class.
Trent isn't.
Trent is 100% world class.
Trent isn't world class.
If Trent isn't world class,
Trent is the
then
best
Who's saying
midfielder
that?
in the world and has been for the
I'm
last
saying
5
it.
years. But we've been playing him as a right back.
I actually think
Yeah.
it's Van Dijk who I think dropped off, and I don't think he might get back to the same level. There's just too much mileage on
You've really
Van
got
Dijk
2
at this
world
point.
class players in our squad.
He will.
Yeah, but
Oh.
Faris, here's the thing. You look at
He will.
Van Dijk over the last 5-6 games. He was actually better than Konate and by far our best centre back. So, like, here's the thing. I keep look. Here's my energy. My energy is the same for all of them. Salah, Fabinho, Van Dijk, Trent, Robertson, Alisson, whoever. I'm gonna give them an opportunity. Play 1 game a week. Be surrounded by good players instead of the likes of
Yeah, good
Henderson,
players, not world
etc. And
class.
let's see how you deliver. If they don't deliver, then we'll have this conversation. But my thing is, like, the reason why I'm talking about winning the Premier League and not top 4 is before you know it, you just become a top 4 club if you keep predicting and wanting top 4. So you have to have
Absolutely.
expectations of winning the league.
Well, Hussam, next year is top 6, right?
Top 5, no?
Actually,
Van Dijk this year
Tottenham.
has had the whole right-hand side, so the whole left-hand side dysfunctional. Like he's just been on his own. Like everybody else has been interchanging, and you know Robinson dropped off a cliff. Diaz got injured. Then you stick Nunes there, you know, and then your midfielders are just completely changed all the time.
No,
Like,
I
Van Dijk's had
absolutely
it
no.
really,
I 100%
really hard.
agree with you, and I absolutely give Van Dijk the benefit
Really
of the
hard.
doubt. 100% is on his left side. He has either Joe Gomez or sorry, Joe Matip or Robertson, you know, stinking up the joint. Who I, by the way, also think if we get an offer for around the 30 to 40 million, I think we need to cash in. I
I agree.
100% agreed with
I
Hussam
totally
on this
agree.
earlier. I think it's time to cash in on Robertson. I think it's time to take advantage of the market as well. I don't
Yeah.
see where Robertson. I think he's hit his peak, and I don't see where we improve on Robertson on the left hand side.
Okay, I appreciate you, Faris. Thank you so much. Final
Just one more thing. Just one more quick question. Just a quick question. Since you are a content creator, I wanted to quickly ask: how do you approach some ridiculous statements sometimes? Because you know I'm based in Toronto, and I went to the Liverpool Toronto fan club, and as I was saying that Jordan Henderson is the worst player by far this season, someone went up to me and said Thiago is worse. I didn't know how to react, so I just thought to myself, I'll stay quiet and wait till Hussam answers. So quickly, before I go, you know, how do you usually react to things like this?
You react to things like this by trying to reason with them. If they can't be reasoned with, then some people
Ignore
are just
them.
a lost cause.
Ignore
I don't know how
them.
you
Lost
watch.
causes. Yeah.
Listen,
Exactly.
honestly, agendas aside, Henderson has been by far the worst player in the team this season. It's not even arguable. I'm gonna be honest with you. I can't name 2 good Henderson games this whole year. Here's the thing with Thiago. Thiago's made from Weetabix. That's his problem. But when he plays, he's by far our best midfielder. Even this year when he was there, the problem is we bought a Ferrari and we drive it like a Toyota. You know, instead of actually driving the Ferrari properly, we go buy groceries with a Ferrari. That's the problem. That's the issue.
And we fill it up with diesel.
100%. Go on, Paul, and then we go to Perek, I think it is, and then we wrap up. Go on.
Nice to see you again. Nice to see you again, Uncle Albert. Great to see you, man.
Nice to see you too, bro.
Yeah, good man. Just going back to the director of football. Yeah, apparently the new director I've heard, director of football or sporting director, is only here for 3 months because we're looking out for someone else. Apparently, from what I've heard.
You want to hear my honest prediction? This is my honest prediction. I think FSG sell as soon as Klopp's contract expires. Honestly, I
agree.
I agree.
It depends what happens with the United. I reckon it could be sooner than that, depending on what happens with the United thing.
We will see. Listen, the best.
Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah.
I think the director of football's 3 years.
If somehow Qatar come back to us, oh God. Yeah. If Jim Ratcliffe ends up over there and FSG says to, oh my God.
50,
you know, the thing is with United fans, they don't even need money like that. With us, you give us some Qatar money, some ruthlessness as well, so Klopp can be hugging everyone. That's literally what we need right there. So
yeah,
like
I'm going back to I was pretty pessimistic before we were linked to the 3 midfielders that we're being linked to. I'm a little bit excited now. I've got a little bit of hope, but before that, I was very pessimistic.
Man, these guys are amazing. Seriously, they are amazing. Those guys that we're linked with.
They give us a lot. Yeah, what they give us is a lot more. They give us technical ability in midfield as well as the PMP power.
Yep.
They're
Yep.
both. They don't panic on the ball when the ball comes to them, even in tight spaces. They're press resistant, and they're great ball carriers. They can dribble. They can go past the player. They can take a player on. All three of them. They don't seem to panic when the ball was when the ball was coming to them in tight areas. And that's what I'm excited. That's what I'm excited about. Really, that's what I'm excited about.
They all play in about 4 different positions as well.
Yeah, they can. Yeah,
They're versatile as well.
Yeah.
By the way, comment section. I'm not. I see Jake early on. Jake, I'm not ignoring your super chat. I'm gonna read it in a second.
Yeah.
We're just gonna
Just a
let
few more
Perek
things to
speak
say.
before we just read the super chat. But here's my thing, Paul. Just before we go to our final caller. Look, my only problem with this summer is we could have had the same exact summer last year. and we just
I
messed
agree.
up.
I couldn't agree more, mate.
This
I
is the
could not
thing.
agree more.
People think the issue is Jude. The issue isn't Jude. The issue is wasting a year waiting for Jude. And the issue is you basically saying, oh, the reason we're not gonna get anyone is so we're gonna get Jude. And then you go end up signing players who could have had last summer anyway. That's
And
my
I'm
problem.
one of the people that's Klopp out as well. So I said I'll give him to December.
Listen, don't worry, you don't get cancelled on this channel for having an
Thank
opinion.
you.
Feel free to.
Well, I haven't
to
been
think
cancelled yet
whatever.
on any channel I've been on. I've expressed my.
Like I always tell you guys, if you're married for a long time, you learn how to compromise. So for those of you who say you want Klopp in, let's wait. I don't think that somebody who fucks up in the way in which he's fucked up in the last year can fix it. But let's see, maybe he gets players who fix it regardless of how good or bad he is, because that can happen too. You can have a manager who does absolutely nothing, but he has good enough players to do the job. I
They win
also
in spite
think
of him
that
rather
if he wants to
than
succeed,
because of him.
if he wants to succeed, he should do something about his backroom stuff. He should send Pep Linders to Ajax. There's an opening there.
I agree.
All I can say about him is we didn't lose the leagues against Man City. We lost the leagues against Crystal Palace or Brentford or Brighton.
Yeah.
That's how we lost the leagues. Just people need to get that in their heads.
Yeah.
Like we lost the league because we drew to Everton. You know what I mean? We lost the leagues not by playing the best teams, and they're the teams you shouldn't really win against. You know, the whole added saying is beat the dross, win the league, and you will. And that's what Man City
without
do
even
every time.
even cutting across you, if we had beaten Nottingham Forest and the Leeds United, we were in the top 4. That's all you need to know.
Or if Darwin Núñez scored those 2 really big chances.
Or if Darwin Núñez scored
let me come to Darwin Núñez.
22 big chances he missed as well.
Let me come to Darwin Núñez.
I told you guys I was his biggest defender. I've given up on him. After he fucked that chance against Brentford, that was enough.
I was mortified when we signed him. I was mortified because I knew how terrible he was. Sorry.
I was so angry as well.
Yeah, I was mortified, mate. What the hell are we buying him for?
Signing
the man's got a terrible first touch.
I still remember I was on the terrace when it was announced, and when I spoke,
felt like
when I
another
spoke
Andy
against
Carroll.
the signing of Núñez, people were like, "Whoa, why are you against
That's
it?"
what I
And I
said.
kinda
You
explained
go
it.
on Andy Carroll.
I just
Felt like
don't think
another Andy Carroll. We
Yeah.
signed
I just
Andy
don't-
Carroll because he scored loads of goals in the lower league for Newcastle.
Yeah.
That's what Portugal
I just don't
are.
think he fits what we're trying to do. I'm gonna be honest with
Portugal
you.
are a lower league. Like, we go over there and we batter every team we play in Portugal at their own grounds. And some of those teams haven't been beaten in like 2 years at their own ground. And we just turn up and smash them 5-0. And we really think their best striker is going to be our best striker? Watch how Endo Fernandez goes. That's all I can say. And Ugarte, watch how he goes.
I think Enzo Fernandez is overpriced, man. Like, look, he's not worth 100 million at all.
Did you just say you think?
No,
should
I
know
think
that.
he's too overpriced. He's too overpriced. Just like with Bellingham, too overpriced.
Hey Toto, that's Chelsea tax right there. But anyway, listen, let's hear from Perek before we wrap it up. Go on, Perek.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go on, brother.
Yeah, just bear with me. I'm a bit new to this online space thing.
No
So
worries.
today, I would like to open a discussion about Trent. In recent times, I've heard a lot about Trent's playmaking ability passing ability, all these things being generational. These are all statements by which I agree with, right? But where my problem arises is when individuals then go and say Trent is the best right back in the world. I'm
Which is
sure all
not.
you
I
guys
agree.
agree with this statement. Is that true?
Sorry, what you say that again? What's the issue?
My issue is when people then say that because Trent is a generational passer, a generational crosser, that he is all of a sudden the best right back in the world. This is a statement I'm assuming you
No,
guys
but
agree
those
with.
two are not the only reasons.
Wait,
Trent
please trust me, we'll get there. Hassan will get there.
Trent broke records as well. You know, Trent's.
I'm sure we'll get
Trent
there.
has
We'll
been
get
the
there.
best
But I
right
just want
back
to
in the
start
world.
said this is a narrative that you guys agree with, correct? That Trent is the best right back in the world.
Not
I
right
don't.
now.
I
No,
don't.
not this season. Yeah, not this season, but
No.
the 4 season before that. Yeah, I take him as number one, 100%.
Okay, so
Maybe
let's
for 3
establish some
seasons.
groundwork. Let's establish some groundwork. Can we agree that when it comes to analyzing a player and in terms of their effectiveness in a position, certain traits take precedence over others? Can we agree with that?
Yes.
Okay, let me get an example. Right, let's take Haaland and Firmino. In terms of ball control, dribbling, playmaking, chance creation, we can all agree that these are aspects in which Firmino supersedes Haaland, right?
Yes.
But if I were to then ask you who's the better striker, we'd all say Haaland, correct?
Correct.
Why? Because even though Firmino beats Haaland in all these statistics, all these stats, dribbling, playmaking ability, we
He puts the
understand
ball in the
that
back of the net. That's why he's better.
we understand that as a striker, your main priority is to finish, score goals, right?
Yeah.
Which is why, despite Firmino being a better dribbler, playmaker, assister, creator, that Haaland is a superior striker. Now let's go to right back, right? Primarily, right, the right back is a defensive position, correct?
Nope.
No.
Yeah.
No?
No, it's not.
Nope.
You don't agree with
Not
that?
in modern football.
Striker is.
I'm saying the right back position, is it inherently a defensive position first?
Yes,
It is.
it is.
It is. I
It
agree
is.
with him. Actually, he is right.
No, it
Okay,
isn't.
so
It's primarily in a
does
defensive
there's a bit
position.
of divide
No,
between
no, it's
Liverpool
not.
fans,
Not
which
in
is technically a good
2023.
time
It
for me.
isn't.
No, it's
It
not.
is.
Okay, Hassan, you said it's not. You said it's not inherently defensive position first.
No, it's not an inherently defensive
Okay.
position. Because I think if you
Wait.
line up 100, if you line up 100 managers right now,
Mhm.
you give them a fullback that can attack only but can't defend versus a fullback that can defend only but can't attack. 90% of the managers are choosing the attacking guy.
No, I'm
Football
sorry,
is
you're
wrong.
wrong. Hussam, I'm sorry, you're wrong. That is false.
I am
Yeah,
right.
agree with that.
If we
If
They
you
would prefer
were to
winning
get
the
100
defense
managers
first.
and say, which would you prefer? A right back who can go forward but can't defend, or a right back who can defend and not go forward? I bet everything 90% would pick the right back that can
I'm with
defend.
you on
Okay,
that.
so if I line up 100 managers and I tell them choose Trent or Wan-Bissaka, you think they're choosing Wan-Bissaka? If I line up 100 managers and I tell them Trent or Wan-Bissaka, you think they're choosing Wan-Bissaka?
I think most would choose Trent. Yes.
But you just said okay, so then I'm proven right.
No. I know I was going somewhere. Now, when it comes to analyzing Trent, right?
Yeah, so I don't think it's an inherently defensive position.
But
10 years ago,
but
15 years ago,
Hussam,
maybe.
Hussam,
You
if
know who
line up-
changed that? One second, Albert. You know who changed that? It wasn't even Trent who changed that. It was Dani Alves who changed that. Dani Alves played for Barcelona almost as a right winger, and ever since then, people have been looking at that
Roberto
whole
Carlos as
position
well.
differently. People have been looking at
Cafu, Marcelo.
Roberto Carlos.
People have been looking at
all
that
how
whole
these players
position
played. Even Zanetti. Do you remember Zanetti?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
you know,
wasn't
you
a
look at the
defender.
example K-Mac just gave with Marcelo.
I
No
understand.
one, people consider Marcelo better than Roberto Carlos, by the way. And
I understand,
Marcelo can't defend to save his life.
I understand, but all these things I believe are irrelevant, and let me explain why.
Okay.
Nowadays, right, in modern football, right, we've seen the rise of ball-playing center backs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Despite there being more ball-playing center backs than there ever have been in history, right?
Mm-hmm.
In terms of the center back position, defensive qualities, defensive abilities will always take precedence, right? So even though, right, we can say most managers will prefer a ball-playing center back than a traditional man, hard, no-nonsense center back. We can agree that the no-nonsense center back, right, the better defensive center back will be a better center back than the ball-playing center back. Can we agree on that?
Yeah, but
No.
centre back and right back is not the same thing.
But let me.
I
let
understand
me,
that, right?
Let
But
me
my
just
point is,
chip in here.
just
Let me
because
just chip in
football
here.
is
You see,
changing and managers expect something else from the players doesn't mean that their inherent position is
we've given so many new names to things that already existed. The best ball playing centre back I have ever seen in my life, and if you're a Liverpool supporter, you should know this. For maybe some of us, the older ones, is Alan Hansen.
Alan Hansen?
You can't play ball out of the back better than he did. There are some others. Alessandro Nesta.
Franz Beckenbauer.
Franz Beckenbauer. Thank you. The Kaiser.
Koeman.
And then the Italian guy, guy who used to play for AC Milan. The Italian
I
captain.
forgot his name. I know which one you're talking about. Baresi.
Exactly.
Crazy.
You couldn't play the ball. Franco Baresi. You couldn't play the ball out of the back better than Franco Baresi. That's what he did his whole life. So
And that's essentially my whole point. So essentially, if you were to ask managers nowadays, which would you prefer? A ball playing center back like maybe, I don't know, Prime Van Dijk, or a Baresi, who's a no-nonsense center back, better defensively. Most modern day managers would choose the ball playing center back. But despite this, if we were to ask who's the better center back, it'd be 100% Baresi. Huh?
They have
when we talk
a
about
non-playing
this,
centre back and a ball-playing centre back. That's what most teams have.
Yes,
because you need
and
one.
You see,
Tarek,
when we
this
talk
is where-
about Osam, just a
Albert,
second.
let me just respond to him
Go
because
ahead.
you're equating two things that are not equatable, and I'll tell you why. They're not equivalent. Center back's main job in 2023 is the same as his main job in 1892, which is to stop the ball going into our own net, to defend. The right back and the left back position has probably seen more revolutions over the last 20 years than probably any other position on the football pitch. Because now it ain't even about just attacking, it's about inverting, it's about all of that. And center backs, you're 100% wrong. If we line up 100 managers and we tell them you've got a center back who can't pass but can defend versus a center back who can pass but can't defend, they're choosing the guy who can defend. Because we can use live examples right now from the Prem, of maybe center backs who aren't the best on the ball, unbelievable on the ball, versus, someone who can pass, very well. Many of them are taking the defender over him. But when it comes to the right back and the left back, I'll use my own club as a negative example, to prove this point further. If you tell me Robertson or Alphonso Davies, I'm taking Alphonso Davies because Alphonso Davies is the far superior going forward, which is exactly what's happening now to the right back and left back position.
Mm-hmm.
If you ask Pep Guardiola, right now, you'd probably say Cancelo is probably even, some people would say even worse defensively than Trent. He was the starting fullback in a team that dominated England for a period of 3 years, inverted whilst playing the fullback role. So you can't equate centre back and left back because inherently right back was a defensive position 20 years ago. Now it's not. Because if you look at Trent, this is what's going to prove my
No,
point.
but I disagree with that because if that was the
Okay,
case,
but let me
there wouldn't be
just
so much.
land. This is what will prove my point finally
Uh-huh.
to you. If Trent existed 20 years ago, Trent would be the Liverpool David Beckham. He would not be a right back to begin with. He would be a right midfielder. That's where he would play. So Trent right now in current modern football can play right back. But 20 years ago, he would have been a right midfielder. Gary Neville, if I take Gary Neville and I put him in today's football, he would not be able to play for Manchester United. He just simply wouldn't be able to play for Manchester United for 20 years. He can't.
But I mean, that's a contradiction, right? 'Cause you just stated how Pep Guardiola disregarded Cancelo in favor for a more defensive lineup like Kyle Walker. So you saying Gary Neville would survive in the modern day football is kind of disingenuous. Based on the example you
Cancelo
just
played
provided with
left
Pep.
back, not right back.
Huh?
Cancelo played left back, not right back.
See,
No,
And
no,
Cancelo
inverting
wasn't.
fullbacks is
And
the
Cancelo
point.
Cancelo wasn't disregarded by Klopp. Cancelo got into a fight with Pep. That's why they sold him.
okay.
The,
But
the,
back
the
to
point the point I wanted to make is that if you look at the 1990 German team that won the World Cup, they played with a 3-back and a box-4 formation.
Mhm.
Guido Buchwald and Paul Breitner were there, and then they had and then they had the captain, what was his name, Mateus, and another person, but they were more or less a box-4. They didn't play with 4 across the back. So, like I said, these things keep evolving. It keeps evolving. Unfortunately or fortunately for us, now we have social media. So we've given it names. We call something pressing. There is no better presser of the football than Ian Rush. None. Zero. Hasn't happened before. There are others you can come up with. What's the name of the German striker who's now a coach of, is it Australia or wherever? What's his name? Why have I missed him?
Klinsmann.
Coach of America.
Klinsmann.
Who was a better? How many people pressed the ball in front more than Klinsmann? Today we've given a name, we call it pressing, but they are not making. It's like chemistry, Hosam. No matter is never remade, right? That's what you chemistry?
No, Albert, I hear what you're saying, but my
Mhm.
thing is there are things that have changed though. We haven't
Yeah,
seen
they're
it.
changing, but it's not the
Can I just say I got to go now? I've
Big
got,
up,
I've got
bro.
to step off.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for having me on,
The,
mate.
the
No
changing,
worries,
I
Appreciate
no
it.
worries.
agree.
Thank you.
I
Take care.
agree with
Listen,
the changing, but I said the
Albert, we have
matter
never
is
seen
not
an
remain.
inverted before these last 5-6 years. We've never seen an inverted fullback ever before.
Hussam,
That's not something that's happened before. You
Hussam.
know, Perek, this is where we inherently disagree.
Mhm.
You're looking at the right back the same way that people looked at it 20 years ago, but it's not the same now. That's the thing.
Yeah, okay, let me
But
ask
Osam, guess
wait,
what?
wait, please, can I ask a question?
De Zerbi has turned it around. Now he has a midfielder playing right back. Do you
Yeah.
realize what he's done with Caicedo? He's turned it around. And Pep has a his left sided fullback now playing as a midfielder. So it depends on what you have as a manager, right? And what you can use.
100%.
So,
What it
Hussam,
feels like to me.
Guys, look, it's 4 a.m. I don't want to keep this going any longer because I've got to
sorry.
go now. So let's just give Perek, give him 30
Mhm.
seconds to land.
At
And
the
then we'll
beginning
just
of the
wrap.
show, you stated that you believe today in modern football, a fullback's offensive ability takes precedence over their defensive abilities, right? Is that correct?
Yes.
And also at the beginning of the show, you said that you don't believe that Trent is the best fullback this season. Is that also correct?
This
You said
season,
that.
yeah, he isn't. 100% he isn't.
So if a fullback's offensive abilities take precedence over defensive abilities, how is Trent not the best fullback this year? If going
Because he
forward,
hasn't performed up to his abilities this season.
so who would you say is better going forward than Trent this year in terms of fullback?
Better going forward than Trent this year. I'd say Trippier has been better than Trent this year. I'd say Kyle Walker has been better than Trippier this year.
Zinchenko.
You could say, I mean, yeah, you can mention many people.
Even,
I can't lie to
even
you.
Ben White.
Trent this season, you just cannot argue for him that he's been the best despite
But
his
I mean,
ability.
I believe those two statements contradict themselves.
No, but it doesn't, because form this season does not equate to overall ability. Benzema's better than Haaland. Who's been better this season? Haaland.
No, yes, but going forward, right? Who can cross like Trent, shoot like Trent? In terms of offensive abilities, right? What I've been hearing from Liverpool fans, generational passing, generational playmaking.
Yeah, but if you ask me overall
going
versus
forward.
this season, those are two different questions, Perek. That's where you're conflating these things.
No, yeah. This season, in terms of playmaking, going forward, ball striking, ball crossing, who's
Trent
been better
hasn't
than Trent?
done that well.
Huh?
Trent has not done that well. I just told you he
Trippier's
hasn't
been
played
better.
up to his abilities.
Trent hasn't
Trippier's
been
been
good at
better.
playmaking this season.
Yeah,
You don't think so?
beginning of the season was rubbish.
No, he hasn't. Bro, Trent got his first assist in like February, bro. Of course he hasn't been good.
No, getting an assist and being a consistent playmaker, crosser of the ball are two very different things.
He wasn't even up there when it comes to big chances created or chances created. He wasn't himself even going forward.
So you would say fullbacks who have been better than Trent this year would be Zinchenko. Who else? Wan-Bissaka.
Trippier.
Did you say Trippier?
I'd say no, not Wan-Bissaka. I'd
Not
say
Wan-Bissaka,
Trippier.
Trippier.
I'd say Kyle
Kyle
Walker,
Walker.
definitely. I can like that's Ben White you as well, 100%.
Ben White.
So
Yeah.
Kyle Walker and Ben White, why would you put them ahead of Trent?
Because they've played better this year.
How do you quantify that? Team performance or individual performance?
Individual
on both
performance.
sides of the ball, man.
Individual performance. Trent
So
has
that's
not
interesting
performed
because
up to his ability.
that's
We're
interesting
also
because
classing this as 12
Ben
as a
White
whole
and
year.
Kyle Walker are not offensive fullbacks. They're more defensive fullbacks. So that's really interesting. You put them ahead of Trent.
Yeah, but if you asked me a year ago, I would have.
Even though you
It
stated
would have
that
been
for a
Reece James.
fullback,
It would have
offensive
been
ability matters
different.
more. You put two
No, but if you
defensive
asked me
fullbacks
a
ahead
year
of Trent,
ago,
which is interesting to me.
if you asked me a year ago, these guys wouldn't have been in the conversation to begin with, because it would have been Reece, it would have been Cancelo, who both excel offensively as well. So, like, this is just based on this season. Once again, you've conflated four things so far. You've conflated centre back and right back as being defensive positions when we disagree on the right back.
No, I didn't conflate. I just acknowledged they're both advancing positions.
No, but they're not. So how can you say a centre
by
back is an
advancing position? I mean,
position?
now more than ever, managers are expecting fullbacks to play on the ball, go forward. Managers are expecting centre backs to be able to play on the ball and go forward. That's what I mean by more.
Yeah, but if you can't defend as a centre back, you can't play. But if you can defend as a right back or a left back, you can play.
But can you name me a fullback in the top team that cannot defend? And you saying that doesn't matter?
Alfonso Davies, Joao Cancelo.
That's disingenuous. I'm sorry.
Trent.
Alfonso
that
Davies
can't
cannot
defend.
defend.
I'm sorry. That's not true.
Wait, you think
Hassan, I
Alfonso
expect
Davies
better
can
from you. That's
defend?
disingenuous. Cancelo can't defend. Davies can't defend.
Yeah,
Cancelo.
Cancelo. By the way,
Cancelo can
you
defend.
ask City
You see
fans
what
and they
Salah
tell you
did to him?
Cancelo. bro. Defensively than Trent. I don't get what
I mean,
what we do.
I can agree with that, but there's just a difference between a player is bad defensively, mediocre defensively, and can't defend. To say that these players can't defend is superfluous.
No, I'm just saying. Compare. It's just wording. You can't like. I can't like AJ spitting here. You can't just trying to catch me out over here. Like it's just when it comes to this whole conversation. If you're saying defensively it's not their strength, then it Cancelo. It's defensively it's not his strength. Zinchenko defensively it's not his strength. You look at what's his name, Alfonso Davies. Defensively it's not his strength. So. When you look at players who have excelled offensively but not defensively, the likes of Alfonso Davies, Trent, Cancelo, these have been the best fullbacks in the world over these last 4 or 5 years. It's as simple as that. So
Look,
yeah,
at the end of the day, Klopp even said Trent's not there to defend.
Yeah, Klopp said
He even
that.
said it.
His word,
He's
what
not
his
in the
words,
team to defend.
his exact
and
words
listen,
were,
I
"We
stick
never
by.
had
He's
this
there to
guy."
create, man. Arnold's
Yeah,
there to create.
Look, fullbacks now are part of build up. They're part of multiple different things. Their primary objective is no longer to just defend. Anyway, let me run through these super chats real quick before we wrap up. Big up to Zlatan, who says not really, because we'll sign another centre back to be able to play the 3-2-2-3 formation. This is why we're linked with Inacio and Van de Ven. I agree with you completely. That's why I have always said this summer signing a centre back is just as much as a priority as signing a midfielder, because we have 4 unreliable ones as well. And I agree with all the people who have spoken on Robertson. Listen, I've spoken on it long ago. I'm so glad people are waking up now. Perad says he spent the Coutinho money, though, to be fair. He has done, which is why I said I blame him for not spending last summer. Overall conversation, it's 100% FSG for me. Jake says not enough noise on outgoings, Gomez, Matip, etc. I think we're probably going to be looking at that when the transfer window opens. I hope Gomez is sold. I think Matip is at least a bit recoverable, can be used as a depth option. I don't believe in Gomez at all anymore. I'm just fully
We
done with the guy.
rejected a bid for Gomez recently.
He's been our worst player this season, Gomez.
From West Ham.
Nope. Henderson's been worse. I'm sorry. It's not an
Henderson's been
agenda.
worse.
Henderson's been
Fair
worse.
point.
Liberty Media, that owns Formula One, apparently is trying to buy majority
Sam, when
stake.
he says our players have been worse, remove Henderson. He's not a player.
But sometime during next season, Zlatan, here's my thing when it comes to the whole ownership stuff. The reason why I don't think we're getting an unbelievable sporting director is whoever comes in probably going to want to get his own sporting director, his own manager, all of that. So FSG are just leaving that to the side. Remember, their main objective is to buy an NBA club. So they need cash flow. They need to sell Liverpool Football Club in order to do that. But thanks so much,
They're buying the
Zlatan.
Suns, aren't they? They're buying the Suns.
Whoever they're buying, they need money.
No, they're buying a new. They're buying a new franchise in Las Vegas.
No, exactly. I think the
they'll be
NBA are
available next year, Vegas.
The NBA are expanding to 32 teams now.
Yeah.
Ward, Pep wanted Nunes. What a joke. Listen, I have no idea who wanted Nunes, but it just doesn't work. And I called it from last season. We can't be having players like that in Liverpool. And finally, BIG says, Hussam Perek is my brother. I told him to hold it. BIG, you're a smart man for telling him to hold it. Perek is always welcome to join us. But I can't lie, his arguments is just weak, because I've heard them all before, like many times before. Perek, with all due respect, but big up to you, BIG, man. Big up to you, and big up to Perek for speaking as well. Always welcome back on the channel. Big up to Felipe, Messi, JJ, Victor, Ilya, Selection, Nidal, Ammar, Joe, Sal, here to there, Zlatan, Pera, Jake, and my brother BIG for the super chats. Big up to you guys. Make sure you all slap the like button. Make sure you all subscribe to the channel if you're yet to do so. We'll be back tomorrow, inshallah, double header. Probably going to do a Premier League team of the season video. And me and Matisse are doing a Chelsea review at night as well. So make sure you slap the like button. Make sure you subscribe. So we've got 2 content creators here. So let them just... also, before we go to the content creators, big up Albert for co-hosting this call and show all this time. I appreciate my brother.
Thank you for fielding me. I enjoyed it. But let me just say, can I just say something?
Go on.
I have a different, or say a varied view on why Schmatka, or whatever his name is, has been brought in as a sporting director. I think it's a control on Klopp from the owners and Mike Gordon. That's what I think it primarily is. Because they are afraid of the things that Klopp has done with their money. Somebody raised the specter of the owners not being comfortable with Klopp. That what Klopp does with money, I think, is true. They still can't get why he signed four forwards, left-sided forwards, with £200 million. They don't get it. That's why Mike Gordon was brought back. I think Schmatka is a control on him, at least there is somebody who can tell him, hey, we can go in this direction. And Schmaka has come out and said he's not that close to Klopp, that he knows him, but he's not that close to him.
Okay.
I said it on Grizz's show last night. When the owners came over, when we played West Ham, something happened. Something happened because Klopp changed. Like, he was space jammed. He stopped acting like a knob.
I'm glad they just didn't sign. I'm so happy they didn't sign Milner, man. I'm so happy. Anyway.
Yeah, these guys are not as stupid as we think. They are the ones who suck. They are the ones who suck Kenny Dalglish. They are not as stupid as we think they are.
Fair enough. K-Mac, you don't want to shut your channel anymore?
Oh yeah. K-Mac channel. Yeah, I do shows every couple of weeks. Yeah, I've got a couple of subscribers on there. So Toto and Albert, big up. I'll have to get you on, Albert, actually.
Anytime, bro. Anytime. I've told
Talk
you
some
guys
real sense.
I'm retired, so you can get me anytime.
Big up, man. Big up, K-Mac. Toto, same thing?
Yeah, man. Channel, I do player ratings, match predictions, where we predict lineup, predict the score predictions. I do that with Solo P1 because I got Solo P1's the host, I'm the co-host, but we do it on our both channels, stream on both channels. Player ratings, predictions. I do a bit. I'm like a sport channel really. I do Formula 1 videos. Again, I do that with Solo P1. I do football videos. Of course, there's lots of transfer news going on, so I will be covering that. Say if McAllister joins for Liverpool, I'll be recording that onto my channel. May go live or recording, so feel free to tune into that. And yeah, man, I just do all that. I do player ratings, all that stuff on my channel. And I got one last word. As soon as we get McAllister, and if we get Thuram in that midfield, I don't know much about Thuram, but I saw clips of him on YouTube. He's a sick player. If we get McAllister and Thuram, I think our midfield will be solid. And that's my final word.
Yes,
Kone.
my brother. Big up, man.
Kone.
I agree with
That's
that
the one you want,
completely. Perek, have you got anything you want to shout out?
No, just thank you for letting me on. That's all.
Shout out to BIG, your brother, in the comments. Big up, man. Big up, everyone. Make sure you slap the likes. Make sure you subscribe. See you guys tomorrow, inshallah. Double header, team of the season, and my sit down with Matisse to discuss Chelsea. So there's a lot coming your way. So make sure you stay tuned. Like the video.
That will be a show I'll be watching.
Listen, 11 p.m. I'm gonna dunk on his ass. I'm telling you.
Roast.
This guy thinks he can talk shit all year long without any repercussions. So we're about to dunk on his head. But big up to you guys. And
Big up,
thanks
man.
to everyone who joined the call-in show as well. See you guys tomorrow. Ciao. Peace.